Braves fans. The Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Mac McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play for the Braves fans out there, for all of Braves country. So pull up an armchair and join us for Braves country baseball, first pitch to last pitch, Tuesday and Friday nights, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. Hey, baseball fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel is going to bring you the baseball game of the week on Thursday nights. Tones Ariola and Mac McGee bringing you the action, the biggest game of the week in all of Major League Baseball. That's Thursday nights, this baseball season, the MLB game of the week, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
Thirsty Thursdays, it's the Armchair Quarterback Show. Joey and Tones Ariola, Matt McGee, and the rest of the guys dropping by, talking baseball, football, and everything in between. Catch the Armchair Quarterbacks on Thursdays, 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central.
Enjoy sun-drenched days, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Our hotels, attractions, and restaurants have taken the Visit Lauderdale's Safe and Clean pledge so you can relax and explore with confidence. When you're ready for that well-deserved staycation, our 23 miles of golden beaches await. Find wide-open spaces to hike, bike, kayak, and paddleboard. Visit your favorite attractions, then dine out in style in socially distanced dining rooms or al fresco on waterfront patios. Learn more at sunny.org.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Remember, if for any reason you must leave your radio, please have the man at the door stamp your ear so you can listen again later.
The Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live, covering the AFC South and NFC South along with the rest of the NFL. Subscribe and like us today. Your first choice for sports talk live from the First Coast.
You come at the king, you best not miss.
I might audible. If I audible, I'll use Omaha! Omaha! Red Polly! Red Polly! Blue Poncho! Blue Poncho! Do it! Rambo! Rambo! Give me Kershaw here, Kershaw!
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Stop, Japan! Richmond, New York! Richmond, Florida! Sally, Buffalo! Check! Hey, Short Ox! Luda Raiders! Red Lion! Omaha! Come out!
This portion of the show is being brought to you by The Best Things in Life, which are still free with minimum purchase at participating dealers.
Dread running to the post office? Stamps.com brings post office and UPS services right to your computer. Send letters, ship packages, and get up to 40% off USPS and up to 62% off UPS rates. Nearly 1 million small businesses use Stamps.com to save time and money. It's a no-brainer. So skip the post office and visit Stamps.com.
Hi, this is Britney Spears.
What up, this Jay-Z.
This is Jennifer Lopez. Armchair.
Thirsty Thursdays, it's the Armchair Quarterback Show. Joey Antone's Areola, Mac McGee, and the rest of the guys dropping by, talking baseball, football, and everything in between. Catch the Armchair Quarterbacks on Thursdays, 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central. Hey, Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Mac McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play for the Braves fans out there, for all of Braves country. So pull up an armchair and join us for Braves country baseball, first pitch to last pitch, Tuesday and Friday nights, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. Armchair Quarterback Radio, the gunslingers of sports talk.
Here's second-year quarterback Brett Favre out of Southern Mississippi by way of the Atlanta Falcons. They are hopeful he can succeed in the NFL. Here, Brett Favre doing the challenge. Try this one. So with their best receiver out of the game from the 35, 19 seconds left. Ball pumps, throws, touchdown! Is there a spark of life in Green Bay?
Yes! Danny Marino!
Here's Marino, wide open field, throws for a touchdown. It is number 37 on the season, breaks the all-time NFL record.
Going deep and open. Touchdown, Mark Duper. Duper has returned, and he is super.
They are going to bring pressure again. Rodgers is going to roll away, throws it up in the air, says a prayer. Janice does not stop it. Oh,
please. TGIF on the Armchair Quarterbacks. Justin Waller and Mac McGee are back at it, 6 p.m. Eastern, to 7 p.m. Eastern every Friday evening right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel and your local CBS Sports affiliates. We're talking the NFL, Major League Baseball, Southern football, so grab you a cold one. It's finally Friday on the Armchair Quarterbacks, 6 p.m. Eastern to 7 p.m. Eastern. Waller and McGee getting you ready for your sports weekend.
You're listening to CBS Sports Radio. We are all sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Strong opinions and your phone calls. Expect it here. CBS Sports Radio.
Hey, baseball fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel is going to bring you the baseball game of the week on Thursday nights. Tones Areola and Mac McGee bringing you the action, the biggest game of the week in all of Major League Baseball. That's Thursday nights. This baseball season, the MLB game of the week, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2 with but one inning more to play. And then when Cooney died at first and Barrows did the same, a pale-like silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought, if only Casey could but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn proceeded, as did Jimmy Blake, and the former was a hoodoo, while the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude, grim melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted and men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second and Flynn a hugging third. Then from 5,000 throats and more, there rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley. It rattled in the dell. It pounded on the mountain and recoiled upon the flat. For Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing, and a smile lit Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance flashed in Casey's eyes. A sneer curled Casey's lip. And now the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in haughty grandeur there. Close by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. That ain't my style, said Casey. Strike one, the umpire said. From the benches black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of the storm waves on a stern and distant shore. Kill him! Kill the umpire! Shouted someone on the stand, and it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With a smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone, He stilled the rising tumult. He bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once the dun sphere flew, but Casey still ignored it, and the umpire said strike two. Fraud, cried the maddened thousands, and echo answered fraud. But one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern, and cold they saw his muscles strain, and they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is gone from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go. And now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in the favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light, and somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. Hey, Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves Baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Mac McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves Baseball play-by-play for the Braves fans out there, for all of Braves country. So pull up an armchair and join us for Braves Country Baseball, first pitch to last pitch, Tuesday and Friday nights, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel.
We take you to the Hotel Martinet in Brooklyn, where Bobby Millett and his orchestra are offering a program of dance music.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our program of dance music to bring you a special bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio News.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ground.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Breaking MLB. I'm your host, Mac McGee, joined by Teamus Wooten, and we're going to bring you some baseball talk for about a half hour before first pitch of the Minnesota-Atlanta game today. Teamus, how the hell are you, my friend?
I am great, and great to be back, and great to have baseball back finally.
Well, we've got a lot to get into and a little time to do it. First thing we do want to cover is, okay, so we're going to talk some Red Sox today. We're going to talk a little bit of the AL East, a little bit of the NL East, and whatever pops up. But we do want to recognize the fact that this is the first time in we were talking off air. Would you say 36, 37 years that Jerry Remy will not be in the Red Sox booth?
Correct. Yeah, he beat cancer 5 times and lost his battle in the offseason in December with cancer. So he's the voice of the Red Sox that I grew up with. You know, anytime I watched a game live, it was Remy's voice, and he was just absolutely beloved. And it's big shoes to fill. They're going to bring Eckersley back, which I love. Eckersley was very great. Him and Remy really bounded off one another. They would tell stories of the old days and stuff like that. Even if it was a blowout game, you still would watch just to listen to those guys crack each other up. To bring in Kevin Youkilis into the booth, Kevin Millar, and of course O'Brien's going to be back, which is good. So
I haven't heard Youkilis before. I've heard Millar when he's on MLB Network. Not a big fan. I feel like he's more fluff than anything else. He tries to constantly be funny, and I don't think he's naturally funny. I think he's okay. I don't dislike him, but I'm not like, if I flip over and see the game's being done with him there, I'll give it a chance, but I've got a funny feeling he's going to bring the clown show. I have not heard Youkilis. Have you heard Youkilis? And if so, what is he like?
He did a couple of games here and there sporadically over the last few seasons. But he's funny, and he's very knowledgeable he was a lot more knowledgeable about the game because he had that caveman persona when he was on the field, so no one really would think that he would be an intelligent person. But he really is. He's got a lot of baseball intelligence, and I think that's going to work. Those guys are probably the way Nesson's going to do it. Probably, I would suspect, is they'll do a 2 to 3 man rotation like they always did with Remy, but they'll probably just sub Euclid out for Kevin Millar. I think depending on road games and home games, I'm not sure how they're going to set it up yet, but it'll be interesting. I like Kevin Millar because of 04 and everything. And
I'm sure. Like it's a totally different deal when you're a Red Sox fan.
Right. Sure. I could see how he could be a little, tongue in cheek to non-Red Sox fans, but we love him in Boston. So, but hey, at least there's baseball for them to talk about. So I'm going into it with an open mind. It's just very sad to lose Remy because the Rem Dog was the man. That was
he really was really good. You talked me into listening to them over the last few years, and I got to where I enjoy. I actually like Dennis Eckersley. I do too. I know he gets some blowback, but I like him. There's a difference between being intentionally trying to be a clown and someone who just kind of speaks their mind, and I feel like that he speaks his mind. And there's I won't sit here and go all over the Braves broadcasters, but there's one or two that I could give, take or leave, but then there's others that I really enjoy. And I thought Remy was phenomenal. And I think Eckersley is a very guy. I think Eckersley is extremely underrated in my opinion.
I completely agree. He does some Oakland games because he's a god in Oakland, obviously. But
he does games for Oakland.
He has. He goes there and sometimes he'll commentate the games, but mainly when he goes there, they have a suite named after him there. So,
so you're basically just talking about him being like a guest announcer. He doesn't have a contract with Oakland where he's working.
To my knowledge, that's correct. He doesn't have a.
Gotcha.
He does have one with Nesson. And I believe last year, it was half the season. It was 81 games because Remy couldn't travel anymore because of his health.
Right.
He could come to Fenway because he lived right down the road. Well, he lived in Boston. So, but Eck would cover the away games because his health was a little bit better and he could travel with the team and things like that.
Gotcha. Okay, moving on. Let's go ahead and get into the signings. I think the first one we have to address is the enormous signing of Trevor Story, 6 years, $140. He does have an opt-out after the 4th year, but if he does opt out after the 4th year, the Red Sox can opt him back into a 7th year, paying him at $25, which I think most likely will happen because I think he will try to force their hand and then insure himself that extra $25 million at the end of the contract. So I believe he's a Red Sox for quite some time to come. I'd be shocked if he wasn't. And this gives them insurance, so to speak, because Xander Bogaerts is going to be a free agent. And Xander Bogaerts is going to be looking for Mookie Betts type money, and rightfully so. So what is your feeling on this, on Trevor Story? And he's not going to be playing his typical shortstop position this year, but he could be playing it next year if Xander walks.
Right. And I think this is a had to happen signing for the Sox. We've been quiet all off season. All off season, which is about 8 days now since the lockout, but we needed a second baseman, a sturdy, everyday second baseman, which has been a big hole for us since Pedroia went down. And this guy's, he can hit, he can field. The Red Sox, all the players were just pining for the Sox to sign him. They were so excited when the, news went through the locker room the other day. And, there's no controversy. Is he going to take Xander's spot? No. If Xander walks next year, they can just slide him over and, they can handle a shortstop in-house, which is nice because, like you said, the contract's for a little while. So I don't think Xander's going to walk, but I've been wrong before. I didn't think Mookie was going to walk. So what do I know? But it's a big sign. And the Yankees, I mean, Aaron Judge came out and said, this just hurts my feelings. You know, he knows the kind of player that Story is. And knowing that they're going to be facing him, our pitchers, a lot of our pitchers came from the National League, so they pitched against him a bunch. They've done nothing but sing his praises and said he just sprays the ball all over the field. There's really no one set way to pitch him. And, you know, as wonky as Fenway is set up, that's going to probably pay pretty good dividends for us throughout the season.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into what their lineup's going to look like. And with the addition of Story, now the one that you sent me that I'm looking at, I don't know if I buy that this is their lineup, because if it's me, I don't have Story hitting second. What we're looking at here is Kiki Hernandez leading off, Story second, Devers third, Bogarts fourth, JD fifth, Verdugo sixth, Dalbec hitting seventh, playing first base, and then Jackie Bradley Jr., who is back, for people who might have slept on that because it's been so long ago. He'll be they have him designated in right field. Yeah, right. I don't buy that. He's one of the best center fielders in the game. And Christian Vasquez playing catcher. Now, got a couple of options you could do there. One of them, I mean, look, if it's me, Jackie Bradley Jr. is my center fielder until further notice. Kike Hernandez can go play left, and you put Verdugo in right. That's how I would do it. But let me hear what you have to say, because I've already seen JB, Jackie Bradley Jr., gun someone down at the plate this spring from center field. So what say you? Are they really thinking about bringing Jackie back over and not utilizing his defense?
Well, that's the only reason they're bringing him back. But Correa and Bloom have both been very adamant that to play at Fenway well, you need a center fielder in center and right. And, you know, Kike did a great job for us last year. I think he's going to be our center fielder, and they're going to put Jackie in the right. But I don't think Jackie's going to be playing every day either. He can't hit his weight. And
no, but you bring him for defense.
You do bring him for defense. And that's exactly what they're going to play him as. But the rumors I've been hearing is that he's not going to be an everyday starter.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, I don't agree with it, but if that's the case, then maybe they will. If Jackie Bradley Jr. is on my squad, the dude's playing defense, especially now it's universal DH. But no matter where you're at in baseball, I can live with Jackie Bradley hitting poorly at the bottom of my lineup. I mean, I'm more likely to put him at ninth and not eighth. That way, if he does get on, he does have speed and he's not clogging up the base paths. But that's just the way I feel about it. I'm just not benching him. I'm not benching him. Not in today's game, where I think it's a huge advantage because there's so many outfielders out there that can't play the defense he has. If he's going to be on your team, I mean, maybe they're going to try to play the game of bringing him in after the fifth inning every game and have him be defensive specialist. But I think you're asking a lot for a guy to come off the bench and produce after sitting on the bench. So at that point, you're almost like going to wait to bring him in the eighth inning, right? I
agree with you. I think defense alone, he warrants a starting position.
Now, if they go out and sign a Tommy Pham, who is still available, a right-handed hitter, that's different. If they want to platoon him, that's different, because Tommy Pham's decent at defense. Not great, but he's decent. If they want to do that, I don't hate that, because I have seen some rumors that Tommy Pham, there's several teams, including the Atlanta Braves, that he could end up at. A little surprised he's still sitting out there, but I think all the big ticket guys were the ones that everyone was focusing on. And
he does kind of have the feel of a Chaim Bloom signing to me, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, you've also got Conforto out there. So there's a lot of moving parts with that. But moving on to the Boston rotation, they lose Sale, which could be for the first couple of months. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario is he's really pushed back, and we're talking all-star break or worse. Maybe he squeaks into the beginning of May, but they shut him down, which means he's got to start at the whole. He's going to ramp the whole thing back up again. And we all know that takes at least a month. And here we are sitting towards the end of March. So y'all do the math. Looking at the rotation right now, you're talking about Eovaldi, Pivetta, Rich Hill, Waka, and Tanner Hawk. Man,
I don't love it.
I think Rich Hill's done. I mean,
I don't understand that signing. They saw something.
He's an opener at best at this point. When you put Rich Hill in there and you put Waka in there, what you've got is two guys who are not going to go the distance. They're lucky to go 5. They're more likely going to go 3 or 4. That's been their repertoire the last couple of years. I don't like putting them back to back the way it's being shown. This that you sent me, I think must be this must be MLB Network. This is what it looks like. I don't like putting them back to back because Pivetta and Eovaldi are going to be your two strong guys, right?
Yeah.
Go as far as any of the guys in the rotation.
I think the reason they have Rich Hill there is because he's the left-hander. You know, they don't want to just go righty. But I don't understand the Rich Hill signing, first and foremost. I really don't understand the Waka one either. I'm not impressed by either one of these guys.
I'll put it to you this way. If I'm setting the lineup and I'm putting Rich Hill at 3rd, Waka's got to go 5th. Because I can't have them go back to back because you could run into a situation where your bullpen gets exposed 2 consecutive days and then you're limping to try to get back to Eovaldi.
And you're also running the chance of giving up a series because most of these series are 2 out of 3. You know, you want to win 2 out of 3. That's the goal. You know, you're not going to sweep everybody. Nobody goes 162-0. If you put those 2 guys back to back, like you said, 1, you're taxing your bullpen like crazy. And 2, you're playing catch up usually.
Right. Now, the Oakland starters are on the trade block. Everybody's trying to make a move for them. I would think that Boston would be pretty aggressive there. You've got you got 2 good starters sitting out there, Montas and Manaea, a lefty and a righty. Montas has 2 years left of control, so he's gonna be the guy that everyone's gonna ask for more. And then Manaea, I believe, I'm pretty sure that this is his walk year. I think that's more realistic, just the way Boston's been trying to rebuild their minor leagues. I don't think they want to dump the whole thing out just to go after Montas for 1 year, or excuse me, for 2 years. I think they're more likely to see if they can get a good trade with Manaea. Gives you another lefty, and he's a guy that when he's pitching well, he pitches really well. He's struggled. And Montas has had some injury issues, but they're both really good talents that are out there.
Yeah, we need another starting pitching. I mean, we obviously, our bullpen is going to, you can't get too much bullpen help, but I think we need one more legitimate starter and just rotate Hill and Waka out as your number 5 guy and put Houck in and number 4 or something if we can get somebody good. I don't know. I'm not overly impressed with our starting pitching lineup, though, especially now that Sale's out.
Yeah. Well, moving on from that, looking at some of the other things that are going on in the world of baseball, big news for the Atlanta Braves. They go in and bring in Kenley Jansen on a 1-year, $16 million deal that took place late Friday night. And so really excited about that. The Braves bullpen, if everyone stays healthy, is going to be elite. It's going to be as good as there is in the game because Will Smith, and people cannot sleep on this, Will Smith did something huge. He told Anthopoulos, the general manager, that he was more than willing to give up his closer role to Kenley Jansen if it meant that they were going to have another run at a World Series. And Will Smith and Jansen are both in walk years now. So they're both going to want to go out there and perform. but that's enormous because you got a lefty righty combo. And it's not like you can't flip flop that from time to time.
Right. Don't hear a lot of closers go to their, front office and say things like that. Usually.
Right. And then you've also got Matzik, who's out there trying to make his money because, everyone's familiar with his story, but he, I can't say it enough. He's a phenomenal follow on Twitter. If you don't follow Tyler Matzik on Twitter, you're doing life wrong. He's so damn funny. And then of course you got Minter. I saw him warm up the other day. I mean, he was popping that glove high 90s. I mean, he's ready to bring it. Colin McHugh in the bullpen, right-hander that they signed, and it got overshadowed because it was the same week, and we're about to talk about it, of the Matt Olson deal. So it got overshadowed because it was like the next day, I think. But that's an enormous thing. If you go back and you look at his numbers, Colin McHugh has had the best numbers for a right-handed relief pitcher in Major League Baseball since 2018. The only person who's had a better numbers since that time period is Kirby Yates. And a lot of people will forget Kirby Yates. Atlanta signed him back in November. Now he's injured and they don't expect him till probably after the All-Star break. But when he gets healthy, that's going to be a heck of a signing. Now that was a little bit of a risk because Kirby Yates, you're not guaranteed to come back from an injury, but if he comes back, I mean, you just got a nasty bullpen. And I didn't even bring up like Luke Jackson, who pitched very well down the stretch last year. He's essentially like a sixth inning guy now, which I think is where he belongs. He has not had that fortitude to be able to shut down. And when he gets in the ninth inning, he gets very, very
rattled.
Yeah, well, he's almost Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. You don't know which Luke Jackson is going to show up. He'll pitch really well, but it really comes down to the fact that he doesn't have the confidence in his stuff, and that's probably changed. Like he's just won a World Series, so that might have fixed it. But it's like, dude, you've got one of the most elite fastballs there is, and he'll get an 0-2 count on someone and just start throwing curveballs and breaking balls in the dirt, and you're like, now it's 3-2. And now he throws a cheese tater in there, and that's when Bellinger took him deep over the center field wall that lost Game 3 of the NLCS. But the Braves are looking good, and then of course the Matt Olson deal. You keep hearing these snide remarks from people in the national media that will sit there and try to tell you that the Freddie Freeman walk was a terrible look for the Braves, et cetera, et cetera. And these are people, I'm not going to say they don't know baseball per se, but they haven't looked at the numbers. I'll just put it that way. And they're not familiar with Matt Olson because he's played out in Oakland, California, right? And so his games are coming on at midnight when most of these East Coast guys on TV are tucked in bed. Matt Olson last year had a 5.7 WAR or 5.6 WAR. I don't have it in front of me. It was one of the two. Freddie's was in the mid fours. He had 39 home runs. Freddie had 31. He had 111 RBI. Freddie had 83. Now, Freddie had a higher batting average at 300. He hit 271. He's not chopped liver. He's 5 years younger.
You got to understand, 111 RBIs in Oakland.
Yeah.
That's
he's not exactly playing with the 27 Yankee lineup out there. Right?
No, they don't set the table for those guys a lot, So that's called, to me, what that screams is timely hitting to me.
And he just happens to went to high school in Atlanta, Georgia. He's from Atlanta, Georgia. He broke high school records that somebody by the name of Jeff Francoeur set. Okay. So he's already a hometown kid. And you get him at 5 years younger, almost 5 years younger. He's about 4.5 years younger than Freddie. And you lock him up to essentially a 9-year deal because the deal was 8 years, but you get the extra year because it's a club option. And if he's worth his weight in gold, 8 years from now, they're going to pick up that option because it's for something very club friendly. It's somewhere between 20 and 25 million, which 9 years from now, that might be chump change. Right. So anyways, I thought they did an incredible job. I saw a ranking this week where they were ranking the top 5 free off seasons for teams, and the Braves were not on there. I found that very, very amusing considering what Anthopoulos has been able to do. They also didn't have the Dodgers on there either, but the Dodgers did pick up Freddie Freeman. So it's, I mean, what the hell are we talking about? I got a feeling if the Braves had re-signed Freddie, they'd have him on the high up on the list. So the whole thing doesn't make sense, but we're going to be doing a top 5 on Thursday. We're doing a Thursday night show. And just for people who are listening, that we're doing the Braves today, 1:00 Eastern, for the up against the Minnesota Twins. And then Friday at 1:00 Eastern, they're playing the Red Sox. So they're going to be doing that game as well. So looking forward to that. And we'll be doing Tuesday and Friday games for Braves baseball during the regular season. Spring training is going to be a little more spotty, but just check the schedule. So I don't know if you have anything to add to that before we get to the Yankees and what they've done, but
no, I mean, the National League's going to be legit this year. I mean, the Dodgers, the Braves, the Phillies have stepped it up a little bit. You know, it's going
to be like the way that everyone keeps talking about the AFC in football, right? It seems like most of the talent has gone over to the National League. It's not that there's not good teams in the American League, but you're just outside of Texas, the star power really went over to the National League and stayed in the National League outside of the Correa sign. So we go to the Yankees. What's your thought on this? Correa ends up in Minnesota after they traded Josh Donaldson to the Yankees, clearing up the money that they needed to be able to sign Correa, when Correa is really the signing that the Yankees should have made in the first place. I did not get that at all.
No, I thought I misread it or I was dreaming when I looked at my phone and saw he went to Minnesota. I would have bet my house that he was wearing pinstripes this year.
If I was handicapping it a week ago, someone asked me about this. And I said, well, I figure it's Houston's the favorite, but don't count out the Yankees and maybe Boston. And I was even throwing out some other teams. Minnesota had never crossed my mind.
No,
Minnesota had been on Trevor Story, but that seemed more legitimate of a chance because I thought Correa was going to break the freaking bank with his signing.
I don't understand why he didn't. I mean, it seemed like this was a strike while the iron hot scenario for him. And
I think it comes down to the lockout. Because when you put that lockout in place on December 1st and you shut down the sport for 100 days, I think it was technically 99. That's a long time of them arguing over the CBA that players like Correa didn't get a chance to argue over what they were worth.
Right.
You also gave general managers and front offices a chance to do some math. And you know how these analytic dorks are up and down MLB. They pretty much run the show now. And I guarantee you, they talked themselves into the fact that he wasn't worth it, that he's not, that there are 6 other shortstops just as good as Correa could give you out there. Now, I don't buy that. I've watched that man play. And though his team cheated like hell, you've got to watch the games. I say this a million times. You have to watch the games. Correa
can play.
Top to bottom is the best shortstop in baseball.
He can flat out play. Yeah.
During the World Series, I covered every one of those games. And the biggest thing that jumped out at me when I watched the Astros, especially on defense, is just the effortlessness that he did. Every time the ball was thrown to him and he would unleash his cannon over to first, that ball was right on the money. First baseman's not having to dive and dig and do all the kinds of things that I've watched Freddie Freeman do over the years. That ball was right on the money, chest high, arm length away, and pop in the glove. And then not to mention the fact the guy's going to bring you 25 to 30 home runs. He's a clubhouse leader.
Yeah, if Minnesota won that, there ain't no two ways around it. My question
Donaldson,
to you
man.
is,
Josh
what,
Donaldson
what
is
is your
so
impression?
overpaid.
What is your impression of the Yankees so far this season, or what do you project about the Yankees this season?
You know who the Yankees remind me of is kind of like what they're going to be the Philadelphia Phillies in the American League. They're going to have all this star power, and I think at the end, folks are going to question, well, why are they not in the playoffs? Why are they not playing better? How the hell are the Tampa Bay Rays still at the top and they're chasing down the Blue Jays? I just don't think these moves have been very good.
Well, the same can't be said for Toronto. That's for sure. Toronto has stepped it up. This is going to be an interesting AL East this season. I mean, the Sox were a couple games away from the World Series last year. The Yankees weren't that great last year. They did. I mean, they won 90-something games. That's not nothing. I'm not taking anything away from them. I don't think they got all that much better this year. I think Toronto got a lot better. Baltimore is going to be Baltimore. Tampa, though, they're never going away. They're like a bad rash in the AL East. They just never
and
go
I
away.
would not count them out of, speaking of the sweepstakes, I would not count them out of the starting pitching sweepstakes with Oakland. I'm looking at Donaldson's contract. So he's on the third year of a 4-year deal. He is getting paid. It's a 4-year deal with worth of $92 million. And it is unbelievable. He's going to be 37 years old this year. And they paid that for him when, and I know it's a little bit of a hike more. I would have put that money to Correa. He's getting 23 this year. And he's getting 21 next year. And then there's a $6 million base salary that's basically a opt out by the Yankees. But this is just, I mean, it dumbfounds me that they go out and get him. He's never healthy. This is the reason why Atlanta didn't re-sign him 2 years ago. You know, he had that big year with Atlanta, and Freddie's going to find this out too. He's going to go out there to the LA ballpark, and it's not going to be the friendly confines of this new Atlanta stadium. The ball flies out of the Brave Stadium. But Donaldson's a right-handed hitter. I don't know why in the world they didn't go out and try to get them some left-handed bats. They're stacked on right-handed. I mean, you've got Stanton, you've got Judge. All these guys are right-handed hitters. I don't understand Cashman sometimes.
Yeah, why not? With that short porch, you think they would just be loaded on the other side. But
I think they were so desperate to get rid of Gary Sanchez, they were ready to do anything.
Yeah, it's tough to blame them now.
But I mean, I feel like you could have gotten rid of Gary Sanchez and not have to take on Josh Donaldson's contract.
Right. It seems like you could have swapped for a bag of balls or something, and it felt pretty good.
They really wanted the catcher that they got in the deal, because supposedly he's very good defensive catcher. And I guess he had his shirt off in the gym the other day, and someone put it on Instagram. I never saw it, but evidently the guy is just ripped. And just like all these guys that are ripped, they get obliques, right? You know, because they're ripped. And guess what happened? A few days ago, he's got an oblique injury. See, us fat guys, We don't have obliques, so we never injure them.
Modern day problems, modern day solutions.
That's right. You know, I'm going to die of a lot of things, but I guarantee it's not an oblique injury. They have to hunt that sucker down. But I don't like the Yankees. Once again, I think their pitching rotation is I'll say barely above average at best, and only because they have Garrett Cole, and you may get the Luis Severino of old. But you look at the Yankees roster. Chapman, remember he had his struggles in the bullpen last year towards the end. Now he ended up straightening him out, but still, this is their starting rotation. You think you got problems in Boston? Cole, okay. Jordan Montgomery's been pretty solid, but man, he is a finesse pitcher. He's not a guy that's going to blow you away. Severino, they hope to have him come back to where he was. Then Taillon and Cortez.
Yeah, Herman is gone for 60 days minimum. They put him on the 60-day.
Right.
He's good.
He's man. No, I had that dude last year on my fantasy baseball team. That dude's terrible. I know he had some good outings, but you cannot rely on Herman. And of course, they no longer have Voit because they got rid of him or traded him to San Diego for folks that missed that. Which, by the way, that might be a hell of a trade for the Padres down the road. But Aaron Hicks, did you hear his quote over the weekend?
No.
He said that he wants to make sure that when the Yankees are going in and playing teams, they're not just beating them, that they're beating. I can't remember what he said, beating the snot out of teams or something like that. It might have been actually using one of those words that gets edited out. But he's basically saying, that he wants to make sure they're going and whipping the crap out of these. Man, Aaron Hicks has played like 10 games over the last 5 years. Like, what is he talking about? You need to make sure that you're in the starting lineup before you start boasting about Joey Gallo is a strikeout machine. Stanton is a statue, and you have to put him at DH. If you don't, he gets hurt. If you put him out in the field for 2 days in a row, something's coming back with his knee. Same thing with Judge, but you only get one DH. I don't think the Yankees are going to be this big, scary team that everyone thinks they're going to be. Same thing with the Phillies. They go out and add Castellanos and Schwarber, and that's great. But you don't get to DH every position. You only get to DH one of them. So
that's going to be Kyle Schwarber if they have brain one in their head.
They're going to be statues out there in the outfield. And Alec Boehm, he's not exactly great defensively. He's decent, but he's got to pick up his bat to be worth keeping him in the lineup. And then you've got Rhys Hoskins, who's over there going to play your first base. He's a terrible first baseman. He came up as a left fielder. They put him at first base because we got all these hitters. So they went out and did nothing defensively. They did help their bullpen, but I see the Mets and the Braves are going to be the two teams that are going to be fighting it out in the East.
You still have to play defense at some point. You just have to.
I mean, as far as I know, I don't think they've outlawed it yet.
No.
No. And in my word, they didn't sign these guys to 1-year deals. They signed them to 4 and 5 year deals, respectively. Schwarber. So I know all the East Coast writers and whatnot are going to pick Philly and the Mets to do really, really well. I think the Mets contest with the Braves. And I think that's going to be your two teams down the stretch in the East. I think the Phillies will be entertaining, but they'll be just outside the box looking in. And you're going to get your other two wild cards, probably one out west, and you might even get one in the Central this year. That remains to be seen how competitive the Cardinals, Brewers, and Cubs are, because the Pirates are the Pirates and the Reds have punted till 2025. They traded everybody.
Yeah, they wholesaled. Yeah.
About coming to the end of it here. Any last words?
No, I'm just thrilled to death that we got baseball on 162 game season.
Give the Braves fans a your take on Mr. Brock Holt.
Yes, we loved the Brock Star in Boston. He's the only player to ever hit for the cycle in the playoffs, and he did it against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. He can play any position except pitcher and catcher, and I wouldn't put that past him. But, I mean, he's played third, short, second, outfield, any position.
He's essentially a left-handed guy with speed, but he doesn't have a lot of pop in his bat. He's been hitting for low average the last couple of years, but he does have the versatility. You can stick him anywhere.
You can put him anywhere.
What about his base running?
He's above average. And
what would you say about his defense? His
defense, he could, especially in the infield, he's a vacuum, and he's a good locker room guy. Everybody likes him, and he knows he's not a starter. So he's not going in saying, well, if you don't start me every day, I'm not going to. He's not that guy at all. I think he would be he's a wonderful addition to any team. And the Braves, signed into a minor league deal. And I really hope that he's swinging that tomahawk come the regular season, because the Braves could use him. I mean, any team could use him.
I would think he would have a decent shot of making the final roster, but he might be a guy that goes down to AAA for a little bit and then comes back up. But something people have to remember about Atlanta, Acuna won't be available for the first 2 weeks. They're saying right now the plan is he starts DHing 2 weeks from opening day, so the 21st of April, and then they hope to have him in the outfield by May 21st. Now, I don't expect any of that to go right, never does. But I'm hoping some point he's DHing by the end of April, and at some point he's playing in the field by the end of May into early June. But I'm excited to see what Brock Holt can do, and that might be why he ends up making the team. Because the versatility.
And he can spray the ball around. He's not just straight pull hitter or anything like that. He's a contact hitter, which will play well. And I wish we could have found a way to bring him back to Boston, but that's just fairy tale at this point. But I think he'd be a wonderful addition to the Braves. The Braves fans would love to watch him play, because he's a he's a lunch pail kind of guy. Right. He shows up, he does his work, and he's funny. Follow him on Twitter, man. Oh my God. Yeah, he'll keep you in stitches the whole time. And him and his wife really get into whatever city he's playing for. They get into the city, in the commerce and the charities and things like that. I think he'd be a fine addition to the Braves nation.
Yeah, Freddie who? We never heard of him. Brock Holt. Man.
Yeah, I wouldn't go quite that far, but good dude nonetheless.
All right, brother. Well, we hope to talk to you soon. Get ready for Braves baseball. And thanks for listening to Breaking MLB here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel and CBS Sports Network.
Take me out to the ball game.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
If baseball is about caring, about loyalty and rivalry,
Baerga is 0 for 3. Left center field. Grissom on the run. The team of the 90s has its world championship.
There's a very peaceful thing. It was created and played in pastures and meadows. There's grass, there's outdoors, there's everything that people thought was American and feel about America. You get in a ballpark, and it's the wonder of walking through that dark tunnel and seeing a huge open space where men play the little boy's game.
You're in Braves country.
Good afternoon, Braves country. I'm Mac McGee. Long time no see, no hear. We're ready for Braves baseball, their first broadcast of the 2022 season. And we are excited to bring you Braves baseball again here in 2022 as the defending World Series champion Atlanta Braves are ready to set to take the field in Fort Myers, Florida against the Minnesota Twins. Real quick, the starting lineup: Arcia at short, Albies at second, Matt Olson first base, Ozuna in left, Travis d'Arnaud at catcher, Alex Dickerson in right, William Contreras at designated hitter. That's right, we have a designated hitter now, and Michael Harris in center with Ryan Goins playing third base. They'll be going up against Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan was 2-1 with a 4.05 ERA, 26 innings pitched. Don't expect him to go very long today. And the Atlanta Braves will counter with Mr. Max Fried, the lefty getting his first start of the spring, and got to expect he'll go one, maybe two. It's been interesting to see how these have gone, how these games have gone over the first part of the spring, because some of your guys that have gone deeper. Some of them are going very, very short. For example, Max Scherzer yesterday for the Mets went 5 innings, pitched 72 pitches. Unexpected, but he was good and stretched out. Today, the Mets will have Jacob deGrom on the mound. We'll keep you abreast of that. I don't expect him to go more than an inning or so. So it really depends on where they are, as it is a compressed spring training. I'm sure you're well aware, but just to go over it, just to get the juices going for this year, a quick reminder: opening day has been pushed back to April 7th because of the lockout, but they will get all 162 games in, and they do have an updated schedule. As far as the Braves go, their opening day, April 7th, will be against will be at home against the Cincinnati Reds. We will have the game for you live here on Braves Country Broadcast. And we are set for the first pitch as Arcia digs into the plate, and he swings at the first pitch, rolls it over to the ground, and snagged by the shortstop. He fires it over to first, and Sano has the ball and the out. There's one away for the Atlanta Braves in the top of the first. A lot of stuff to get into today. And first thing that I'm going to talk about, we're going to keep you updated as these go on, but we will do another game on Friday. And during the regular season, the plan right now is to bring you Tuesday nights and Friday nights Braves baseball with an MLB game of the week on Thursday nights. Here's the pitch, and it is swung on. First pitch once again, but it is roasted into center field by Ozzie Albies. He will get on his horse, but slam on the brakes at first base, and he has a 1-out single to get the Braves going here in the top of the first. Joe Ryan has thrown 2 pitches and gotten 2 swings already, and that's going to bring up the big lefty from Atlanta, Georgia, Matt Olson. Matt Olson acquired in the Oakland A's trade just a few weeks ago, moving on from Freddie Freeman as he decided to take the 5-162 out to Los Angeles and join the Dodgers. First pitch is inside, and it is off the plate for a ball. It's 1-0. Matt Olson, for folks who are not familiar with him, last year, 271 average, 39 home runs, and 111 RBI. So no slouch himself at first. Here's the second pitch. Swung on, hit high, hit deep, going back at the wall. Byron Buxton catches it at the wall. What a heck of a grab. He goes over the wall and steals a home run from Matt Olson. Ozzie Albies scampers back to first base, and there's quickly 2 away here in the top of the first inning. Unbelievable catch by Byron Buxton here early in the spring. He drove it over the wall, just would have gotten over the wall, but Buxton too fast and on the move, and we have our first web gem of the 2022 season. Great play by Byron Buxton as Matt Olson absolutely hammered that. So 1 on, 2 away. Marcell Ozuna's back. He swings and misses, makes a little bit of a contact, but fouls it back in. It's 0-1. Braves, nothing. Twins, nothing. Top of the first inning. 0-1 count to Marcell Ozuna, who is back after suspension. We'll get you caught up on that as the game goes on. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it is swung on and roasted high. And it looks like they've lost it. They've lost the ball. The runners, well, that is a confusing one right there. So catcher and pitcher were lost on that play. The ball was popped up. They lost the ball, and it looks like it fell for a base hit. The cameraman got lost on that one. So you're going to have runners on first and third. Ozzie was moving on the play. Good hustle by Ozzie. And there's a pop-up in the infield that dropped. Both the catcher and pitcher did not see it. I don't know if they lost it in the sun, but you got runners on the corners, and first pitch inside to Travis d'Arnaud. And it is just inside for ball 1. Once again, Marcell Ozuna is back from suspension, time served. Remember, he missed all of the last 2/3 of the 2021 season. And there's a changeup on the outside part of the plate, and it's 0-1. 1-1, excuse me. Atlanta has runners in scoring position already, first and third, 2 away. Here's the 1-1 pitch, swung on and hit high and popped up to the outfield, and it looks like it's going to be an easy grab. And we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the Atlanta Braves will send Max Fried to the hill. You're listening to Braves Country Baseball.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's Almost Good Beer. Remember, Ed's Almost Good Beer was brewed in God's country when God wasn't looking.
I'm not audible. If I'm audible, I'll use Omaha! Red Polly! Blue poncho! Dilly! Rambo! Give me Kershaw here, Kershaw!
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Chop, Japan! Richmond, New York! Richmond, Florida! Sally, Buffalo! Check! Hey, Short Ox! Who the Raiders! Omaha! How about?
Hey, Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Mac McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play, calling it how I see it for all of Braves country. So pull up an armchair and join us for Braves Country Baseball every Friday night, first pitch to last pitch, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel.
Enjoy sun-drenched days, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Our hotels, attractions, and restaurants have taken the Visit Lauderdale's Safe and Clean pledge so you can relax and explore with confidence. When you're ready for that well-deserved staycation, our 23 miles of golden beaches await. Find wide open spaces to hike, bike, kayak, and paddleboard. Visit your favorite attractions, then dine out in style in socially distanced dining rooms or al fresco on waterfront patios. Learn more at sunny.org.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
Challenge accepted.
Welcome back here to Braves Country Baseball broadcast here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel and being streamed by a couple of local affiliates nationwide. Here's the first pitch from Max Fried, and it's a fastball inside and looks like it got a piece of Buxton right on the wallet. He turns and he will head to first base. It was a glancing blow, so I think he'll be okay. If you missed the first inning, Byron Buxton climbed the wall, jumping over the wall and stealing a would-be 2-run home run from Matt Olson. And I'm sure Buxton and Matt Olson are having a good laugh there at first base, probably telling him that's what you get for stealing from my home run. All right, runners on first, nobody out, and first pitch swung on, and it's a ground ball to third, flipped over to second, and for the double play, bang, bang. It's a twin killing, and there's 2 away here in the bottom of the first. Nice play by Arcia to shovel it over to Ozzie, who fired it over to first base, and there's quickly 2 pitches, 2 outs. Max Fried, last year, of course, the Game 6 winning World Series pitcher, the clincher, was 14-7 on the year with a 3.04 ERA. Second half of the year, he was the best in the business and was really hard to hit for lefties down the stretch. Speaking of the stretch, here comes the pitch, and it is offered at and missed, and it's 0-1. Braves are wearing their dark blue spring training uniforms with Braves across the chest and the tomahawk in gray pants. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it is a curveball outside the zone, and it's 1-1. Minnesota Twins are dressed in all white, top to bottom, with Twins across the chest. They're wearing their blue hats and blue batting helmets. Here's 1-1 pitch, and it swung on. Hot shot in the first base, but Matt Olson's on it. He'll step on the bag, and just like that, the Braves are out of it. So 3 up, 3 down after a hit pitch. No runner stranded. At the end of 1, it's 0-0.
Max, a woman in my section wants to know if we do anything gluten-free. What do I tell her? Tell her she's not allergic to gluten. She's just masking an eating disorder.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hey, baseball fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel is going to bring you the baseball game of the week on Thursday nights. Tones Areola and Mac McGee bringing you the action, the biggest game of the week in all of Major League Baseball. That's Thursday nights. This baseball season, the MLB game of the week, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel.
This helpful instructional message from the National Association of People Who Have Trouble Walking and Chewing Gum at the same time. Step, chew, step, chew, step, chew, step, chew.
Follow us anytime on Twitter. Our handle, Braves on YouTube.
Walt Whitman. Brooklyn Eagle, 1846. In our sundown perambulations of late, through the outer parts of Brooklyn, we have observed several parties of youngsters playing base, a certain game of ball. Let us go forth a while and get better air in our lungs. Let us leave our close rooms. The game of ball is glorious.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball, and here's the first pitch by Ryan. He's back out there. He fires a fastball down the heart of the plate to Dickerson, and it's 0-1, swung on and missed. Fastball right across the chest, and Braves are 0-0 with the Twins, and swung on and popped up high in over to third base, just on the edge of the grass, and it's going to be an easy out. There's one away. Dickerson signing as a free agent, trying to land on the Braves roster. as there's a number of things going on in spring training here. We'll get into it as the broadcast goes on, but many of guys trying to make the roster. That's going to bring up William Contreras. He's another one that's vying for a possible roster slot. Here's the first pitch by Ryan, and it's a fastball at the knees on the outside. It's 0-1. Atlanta. Oh, 1 pitch, changeup, took a little bit off that, swung over the top, and it's 0-2. Atlanta, nothing. Twins, nothing. If you're just joining us, here's a fastball, high cheese across the plate, up in the zone, and Contreras could not catch up to it. That's a strikeout for Ryan, and there's quickly 2 away. You'll notice in a lot of these games with spring training, people are swinging at early on in the counts. They're just trying to get their at bats and get out. A lot of your starters will take off after 3 or 4 innings with a compressed. Here's the first pitch to Harris, and it is called for an inside strike. It's 0-1. Michael Harris, and another guy trying to make the squad. Fastball swung up high and popped up, and it is actually going to drop in between right field and center field. Does not get into the gap as Buxton once again quickly on it. He fires it into second. Harris makes a wide turn, but slams on the brakes, and the Braves have a runner on with 2 away. Harris, one of the best prospects in the Braves organization. Now, he is only 20 years old. He would love to make the big club, but you got to expect he's going to go back down to the minors for some more seasoning this year. But the Braves have big expectations for him. So that's going to bring up Ryan Goins. As Ryan Goins, left-handed batter, third baseman, he takes the first pitch inside, fakes a bunt as the ball went inside. I think he was trying to drag it on, but pitch was way inside, and it's 1-0. Byron Buxton for the Minnesota Twins, who signed a long-term deal in the offseason, has already made 2 incredible plays in the outfield. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Goins, and Blue's going to call time, so we'll set it up again. 1-0 count. Michael Harris on first base, and he's got wheels. He may go. Byron Buxton, already the man of the hour with 2 great defensive plays. Here's the pitch. Fastball high. Looked like it was a little bit off the plate, but they're going to go ahead and call it a strike. It's 1-1. Braves nothing, Twins nothing. 1-1 pitch to Harrison. It's fastball outside the zone. It's 2-1. Ryan, the big tall righty, he looks over to first base as Harris has not made a move to second yet, but a 2-1 count would be a good one to run on. Here's a pitch, and it is a changeup inside. Goins once again showing bunt, but pulled the bat back, and now it is 2-2. So that'll set it up. A 2-2 pitch. Ryan Goins. We will be back Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern, Boston Red Sox, Atlanta Braves, right here on Braves Country Baseball. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit high and deep into center field, but Buxton's got a beat on it. He'll catch it just before the warning track, and that's out number 3. That'll send us to the bottom of the second. The Twins grab the bats.
Make sure when your shift is over, you go home alive.
Look at that. The Hendersons are getting a new fence.
Ah, who cares? They're swingers.
I want a new fence. That's it. We're never having sex again.
Need a home loan fast? At the American Bank of Los Santos, we'll help you get the debt you need to make life easier. We'll show you how to look richer and be poorer. You need to impress people fast, not in 20 years. It's only a risk if you get into money troubles or the economy changes. Call American Bank of Los Santos. Now that the kids have moved out and have drug problems of their own, maybe it's time to install a luxury marble wet bar so you can get drunk in private. American Bank of Los Santos. Why worry about tomorrow if you look inadequate today?
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Lose some weight.
Oh, come on, quickly. Will you don't give me that?
Look at me, 92. And I still enjoy swimming, and golfing, and biking, all sports.
Whoopee.
That too.
Come on, after all, at your age, must be down to a handshake, huh?
Yep, before and after.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
Welcome back here to Braves Country Baseball. The Atlanta Braves and Minnesota Twins, bottom of the second, no score. Max Fried still on the hill for Atlanta. And here's the first pitch. It's a fastball inside, right across the black, and it's 0-1. Atlanta and the Twins down in Fort Myers, Florida. Little spring training action for you. Fastball right across the chest, and it is taken for a strike. It's 0-2. Braves Country Baseball, our first broadcast since Game 6 of the World Series. Here's a fastball inside, swung on and hit by Sano over the right side, but it's fisted. Ozzie Albies is able to come over from the shift and corral it, fires it down to first base, and beats Sano by about a half step. The slow running Sano was easily gotten. It was a ball that was kind of hit on the screws and kind of corkscrewed off. And if it would have had any kind of momentum, would have dribbled into right field, but Ozzie Albies was able to slide over there and make the catch. Now, as of right now, the shift is still on for this year, but it looks like the Major League Baseball shift will be governed in some way by 2023. Here's the curveball inside, called for a strike. It's 0-1. Gary Sanchez, who came over from the New York Yankees trade just a couple of weeks ago. Here's a pitch, and it is a fastball on the outside part of the plate. It's 1-1. 1-1 pitch just off the plate, and looks like it was a nice little slider there, and it is now 1-2. Max Fried, quick action here. Here's the pitch, the windup, fired inside. Sanchez is able to fight it off and drag it foul. We'll do it again at 1-2. Gary Sanchez, the big catcher for the New York Yankees, he came over in the Josh Donaldson trade. Here's the 1-2 pitch inside, and it's 2-2. Sanchez and Urshela, who are both playing in this game, came over from the Yankees. They sent Josh Donaldson and IKF over to the Bronx, along with their catching prospect. Here's the windup 2-2 pitch, and it is swung on and missed. Strike three, right by him. Gary Sanchez sits down. There's 2 away. And that catching prospect, Benvorts, to the New York Yankees, he is already injured, has an oblique strain, and he's questionable if he will make it to opening day. Speaking of things that are effective on opening day, and we'll get you caught up as the news rolls in, today is arbitration day in Major League Baseball. Here's the first pitch to Kepler, and it's right down the pipe at the knees. It's 0-1. Players and teams had till 1 p.m. today to work out arbitration. We'll start seeing news of that pop in here. We'll keep you abreast as it goes. That was here's the 0-1 pitch. It's high and outside the zone. It's 1-1. 1-1 pitch to Fried, and he fires a slider, misses outside, and it's now 2-1 to Max Kepler. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And swung on and hit high and deep, going back at the wall in the warning track. Alex Dickerson corrals it as the ball kept bending foul, and he caught it in fair territory, but barely. That'll end the inning. We'll head to the top of the third inning. 0-0, Atlanta and Minnesota.
You just robbed a house. You have all this great stuff that now belongs to you, but you got this annoying pang of guilt nagging at you. Well, worry no more, because your friends at Cell Block Greeting Cards have the answer for you. Introducing our new line of petty crime thank you cards. Before you smash and grab one of our cards and leave it behind on your next heist. Choose from any of these fine heartfelt cards like
thank you for the plasma TV,
or
thanks for the PlayStation, alcohol, and penny jar,
and
don't use your toothbrush,
or limited time introducing
I'm still in the house,
and many more sentimental petty crime thank you cards.
Available at any back alley, shadowy parking lot, or
armchair.
I don't even like Drake.
You don't like Drake?
How could you not like Drake? Who's Drake?
Who's Drake?
Drake is good.
I told you that Drake was bad. I hate the Drake.
Follow us anytime on Twitter. Our handle, Braves on YouTube. Hey, Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Mac McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play, calling it how I see it for all of Braves country. So pull up an armchair and join us for Braves country baseball every Friday night, first pitch to last pitch, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. Welcome back to Braves baseball. Got a 1-0 count here as Devin Smeltzer has come into the game, the left-hander for the Minnesota Twins, and he fires the 1-0 pitch at the knees, and it's 1-1. Orlando Arcia, the shortstop today at the plate, trying to find his way onto the roster. Remember, the Braves signed him last year. Here's a slider, looks like swung on and fouled back. It's now 1-2. Going to get to some teams, some players that have avoided arbitration. Won't go over the numbers because they're all 1-year deals. There's no point of going over the numbers because they're coming in fast and furious, but do want to keep you abreast of it. Here's a fastball outside the zone. It's 1-1. Eric Fetty of the Nationals has avoided arbitration. Here's the 2-2 pitch, swung on and fouled down the third base line. It's 2-2. Josh Taylor of the Red Sox settles. Lou Trevino of the A's avoids arbitration. Brad Keller of the Royals. Kevin Biggio of the Blue Jays. Michael Fulmer Austin Hedges, Tyler Glasnow. Here's the slider at the knees and out of the zone. It's a full count to Arcia. It's 3-2. Luis Guillermo of the Mets, Austin Meadows of the Rays, Jack Flaherty of the Cardinals, Brent Suter of the Brewers, Bradley Zimmer of the Guardians. Here's the 3-2 pitch, payoff and swung on and hit into right field. And it looks like that's going to drop for a single. And no, it's actually caught by Kepler and he got underneath. It looked like that ball was going to drop, but he was able to get on it. And there's now one away here in the top of the third. Other players who have settled for arbitration will not have to go into the arbitration hearings, which it's always a good thing because it really does put a bad taste in players' mouths. Here's the curveball swung on and hit high and an easy catch into shallow center field, corralled by the second baseman Arias, and there's quickly two away. Ozzie Albies was swinging at the first pitch once again. I really do wonder if Ozzie Albies is going to be up high in that lineup like they have him today when everyone's in there come opening day, because it doesn't look like he has changed his approach at the plate, which is basically swing at the first thing he sees. Remember, that got him all the way down to 7th, 8th in the lineup towards the end of the season. Here's a fastball to Matt Olson, and it's outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Matt Olson, first inning, if you're just joining us, drilled one high and deep, and it was caught over the wall by Byron Buxton. 1-0 pitch, and couldn't hold up. He went around, and it was kind of an excuse me swing. It's 1-1. Bradley Zimmer of the Guardians, Omar Narvaez. Here's a fastball right at the knees. Nice pitch, and it's 1-2. Olson is now the first base cornerstone for the next 8 to 9 years. Here's a slider outside the zone. Nice eye by Olson, and it's now 2-2. You wonder how much pressure he feels to perform coming over filling Freddie Freeman's shoes. He is an Atlanta, Georgia native. Broke a lot of high school records held by one Jeff Francoeur. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It swung on, popped up high, jam shot, and easily corralled for out number 3 in shallow center field by the second baseman. That'll send us to break. We're heading to the bottom of the third inning. Braves country baseball. It is scoreless.
It all starts with just one thing. When recycling, rinse out jars and cans and avoid recycling wax paper or paper soiled with food. This will reduce recycling contamination. Find tips and more at onethingus.com. What's your one thing?
Slide here is your X, but if that's the call, Mike, Will, and Sam all have to know they're shifting. Open palms to post, thumbs ups across her, thumbs downs and out. Trevor, why don't you get up here and draw that for us?
Playing in the NFL is hard, but playing
armchair
fantasy football is easy.
Fantasy football time. It's fantasy football time.
You go 14 times and only win one time. It leaves a little sting. But I've said this. I know it's going to sound weird, but I've said this. If I had to go back to the future and know what the results were going to be and trade with the Marlins, who won twice and only went twice, I wouldn't do it. At the 14 times, still thinking that maybe fate might change. Going 14 years in a row is pretty incredible.
How about that?
It is played everywhere. In parks and playgrounds and prison yards, in back alleys and farmers' fields, by small boys and old men, raw amateurs and millionaire professionals. It is a leisurely game that demands blinding speed. The only game in which the defense has the ball. It follows the seasons, beginning each year with the fond expectancy of springtime and ending with the hard facts of autumn. Americans have played baseball for more than 200 years. While they conquered a continent, warred with one another and with enemies abroad, struggled over labor and civil rights and the meaning of freedom.
Welcome back here to Braves Baseball, and first pitch by Max Fried is high and outside the zone. It's 1-0. Braves, nothing. Twins, nothing. Second pitch of the at bat as we start the third inning. And here's the delivery, swung on and hit high into center field, but playable just before the track. Michael Harris is on it. The lefty flips it back into the infield, and there's one away. High expectations for Michael Harris, just 20 years old, but as quickly came up the Braves ranks, expecting him to probably start the season off in AAA this year, as there will definitely be some holes that he can fill maybe as early as this year. Defending World Series champions are still looking to possibly add an outfield bat. There are some available with some pretty big names still out there. Here's a fastball high and outside, and it's way off the plate. It's 1-0. Michael Conforto, the ex-New York Met, Tommy Pham of Rays and Padres fame, they are still out there, two of your better outfielders. Here's a shot over to the shortstop, and quickly on is Arcia. He fires it over to first base, and there's quickly two away here in the bottom of the third. Other interesting free agents that are still out there, probably not fits for Atlanta, Jed Lowry, who kind of plays all over the infield, and Mitch Moreland, who's more of a defensive specialist at first base. Starting pitchers that are out there is quickly two away, and that brings up Alex Kirilloff, the lefty versus lefty matchup with Max Fried still out there, and wind up in the pitch, swung on and fouled back. It's a strike, and it's 0-1. Starting pitchers that are still out there on the free agent market: Johnny Cueto, Brett Anderson, Chris Archer, J.A. Happ. Here's the 0-1 delivery from Fried. Wind up, and he fires it in on the hands. It's fouled back to the screen, and it's 0-2. Just underneath the bat of Kirilloff, and I'm sorry, that's Nick Gordon now. Nick Gordon. And 0-2 count, two strikes, and swung on, and a lazy pop fly. Can they get underneath it? Giving it chase is Dickerson, and he makes the basket catch in shallow right field for the final out of the inning. We'll head to break. Atlanta grabs the bats. Still no hits by the Twins. It's 0-0.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
ACC football covered like no other here on the Armchair Quarterback.
Reggie Gillespie dives into the end zone. The winning points from North Carolina State. And the teams come together in the end zone, pushing, shoving between the pack and the heels as Gillespie has scored the winning points, his fifth rushing TD. But these teams need to be separated. The emotion boils over on the last play of the game as Gillespie goes to the end zone. And it's a sea of Carolina blue and state red.
And Carruthers gets into it, and they've doused him, and now we've got a big brawl out of the field, marring would have been the 200th victories for Bobby Bowden. Look at this. That's an ugly mess down there. This is ugly. Trying to get it cleared up down there, although there's still some bodies flying around.
ACC football, backyard brawls all year long.
I'm up. Biggest pick of the draft. Fifth pick, 6th round. TJ Hoshimazode. Yes. Lock it up.
Who? What?
TJ, how's the vanilla? All right. TJ, who's your mama?
Fantasy Rule 17. Know how to pronounce your draft picks.
You mean TJ Houshmandzadeh from the Bengals?
Put him on the board. Hoshimazole. Got it. Championship.
Fantasy football time. It's fantasy football time.
This is Jim Rome. Join me in the jungle for your phone calls and the biggest names in sports. Stop by weekdays, noon until 3 Eastern, 9 to noon Pacific.
Welcome back here to Braves Baseball. The first pitch is at the knees and called for a strike to Marcell Ozuna. It's 0-1. Smeltzer is still back out there on the bump as he goes for a second inning. Lefty versus righty matchup. Catcher sets up inside, and it is a slider, almost hits Ozuna, and it's 1-1. Some news on the front of the Atlanta Braves and their arbitration cases after the pitch. 1-1 count. They set up a little bit outside, and it is a slider off the plate. It's 2-1. AJ Minter settles avoiding arbitration, but Austin Riley did not come to an agreement before the arbitration deadline, and the Braves and Riley will end up in arbitration court, so to speak. Here's a pitch swung on, hit high and deep into center field. Back on his horses, Buxton. He'll catch it before the track, and it's one away. That's not surprising. Riley had one heck of a season. He was my MVP. I know it was given to Bryce Harper of the Phillies, but if you watch the games, you know that Austin Riley had the better year, more consistent year, and stepped up in big moments in the regular season. Here's the first pitch to d'Arnaud, and it is a slider down below the shins, and it's 1-0. d'Arnaud, first time up, flew out with runners on the corners. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it is a nice off-speed pitch at the knees, and it's 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch to d'Arnaud, and it is a fastball on the outside part of the plate, four-seamer, and it is now 1-2. Smeltzer came in for relief. He's already up to 20 pitches as Ryan pitched the first two innings. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it is swung on and dragged foul by d'Arnaud. It's 1-2 once again. Riley's got to be the next kid that they want to lock up long term. It's going to be a difficult one. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the outside part of the plate, and it is a ball, 2-2. Looked like it was a changeup that just missed. So you got a 2-2 count, top of the fourth inning in Fort Myers, Florida. Here's the delivery by Smeltzer, and he swung on, and it's hit the other way by d'Arnaud. He took what the defense was given. They were playing a shift, and he poked it into right field in between the wicket, and you've got a runner on first, one away, with Alex Dickerson, the big lefty versus lefty matchup. Dickerson played for the San Francisco Giants last year, coming over in a one-year deal. If he does not make the team, it's likely to be a free agent once again. But they're hoping Dickerson can give them pop and a decent little bat. Here's the first pitch to Dickerson. It's a slider on the outside part of the plate, and it's 1-0. Alex Dickerson. Braves are needing depth there in the outfield. If you haven't heard, Acuna, who's coming back from injury, is not expected. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it is a changeup on the outside part of the plate, and it's 1-1. Dickerson is not expected back. Acuna is not expected back in the lineup until maybe 2 weeks in. They're hoping April 21st was the date that they're shooting for, but that would be just a DH. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Dickerson, and it is all off the plate. No, they're going to call it a strike, just kissed the zone, and it's 1-2. Dickerson last year in 111 at bats for the Giants, 233 average, 13 home runs. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it is outside the zone. It's 2-2. Good eye by Dickerson not to chase that slider that was way off the plate. So here we go. 2-2. Runner on first. d'Arnaud, Dickerson. Previously with San Diego as well. Here's the pitch, and it is swung on, and he went fishing in the dirt, and it's a strikeout. That's 2 away in the Atlanta fourth. Alex Dickerson started his career in San Diego and has played 3 years in San Diego, 3 years in San Francisco. So he spent his entire career in California. He's originally from Poway, California, but he went to Indiana for college. Here's the first pitch in the dirt to Contreras, skipped and almost hit his leg, but it did miss him, so it's 1-0. Dickerson was drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates. And then eventually he made his way to San Diego and San Francisco, now a free agent, 1-year deal with the Braves. It's $1 million deal if he makes the roster. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it is inside, and it gets away from the catcher, trickles to the backstop. d'Arnaud jogs down to second base. That's got to be a pass ball that was right in his glove. And this is one of the things that the Yankees and Yankee fans hated about Gary Sanchez, was that his defense was questionable at best. And he just let one squirt to the back screen, and his offense has always been his prowess, but he's very, very hit or miss. Usually it's for a low average, but high power numbers. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Contreras, and he takes the pitch high and outside the zone. It's 3-0. Comparatively, William Contreras, he has struggled mightily at defense. Now he's DHing today. They want him to make the team as a catcher at some point, but the Braves did sign Manny Pena in the offseason, so they may be set there. Here's the 3-0 pitch, swung on and dribbled into the dirt to short. It's corralled and fires it over to first. Sano with the snag, and that'll end the inning. 4 hits, no runs for the Braves. 0-0-0 for the Minnesota Twins. We head to the bottom of the fourth. Follow us anytime on Twitter. Our handle, Braves on YouTube.
Sit shot.
Armchair Quarterbacks Radio covers the whole SEC the whole season long.
Dobbs heaves it. They're bunched up in the end zone. It's tipped up. It's caught. It is caught. Jawan Jennings.
Just the start of things. First quarter at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville as Walker digs to the right. Gets outside. The 35. Look out. He's past midfield and he's got a blocker. Cuts to the inside. Herschel Walker. There he goes again.
Straight up the middle. Touchdown. Delayed reaction, but Tebow got in. Oh, jump pass. How about that? Oh, my gosh. It's like 1955. Holy cow. Are you kidding me?
Armchair.
Hey, Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Matt McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play for the Braves fans out there. Pulling no punches, calling it how I see it for all of Braves country. So pull up an armchair and join us for Braves country baseball, first pitch to last pitch, all season long, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel.
Football team and a quarter and a half. That ain't funny.
Welcome back here to Braves Baseball. Huascar Ynoa is in on the hill for the Atlanta Braves. Max Fried's day is done. You don't want to get them stretched out too far in the first outing. Huascar Ynoa last year had a 4.05 ERA. And I remember before his injury, Ynoa was a phenomenal pitcher. And before he broke his hand, looked like the Braves MVP the first couple of months of the season. Broke his hand in a game versus Milwaukee where he punched the bench out of frustration on a bad outing, sent him to the IL for a few months. When he came back, he lost his starting job, worked out of the bullpen, and was okay, but not quite as effective. He hopes to right that ship. Here's the first pitch from Ynoa, and it's a fastball outside the zone. It's 1-0. Ynoa versus Buxton. Buxton's already made a couple of great defensive plays. He's staying in to get another at bat. Here's the pitch, and it's swung on and missed. And it's four-seam fastball up around the letters, 96 miles an hour, and it's 1-1. Here's 1-1 pitch, and it is a fastball high, way outside the zone, and that'll make it 2-1. 2-1 pitch from Ynoa to Buxton, righty versus righty matchup. Beautiful day for baseball in Fort Myers, Florida. Here's a fastball swung on and missed, and it's 2-2 to Byron Buxton, the leadoff man for the Minnesota Twins. $83 degrees in Fort Myers, supposed to get up to 88 today. Looks like mostly sunny. 2-2 pitch swung on and popped up high, but out of play. It looks like, and they'll give it chase. It is going to get out of play just barely over the screen. Travis d'Arnaud making a sliding attempt into the wall. He's fine. He pops up, and it's 2-2 once again. Ynoa would love to have a chance at the starting rotation, but may end up in the bullpen to start the year. See how that goes. There's a lot of options for the Braves. We mentioned Cueto, Anderson, Archer, and Happ are still out there on the free agent market. The Braves have been talking about getting another veteran pitcher. Here's fastball swung on, hit high and deep into center field, but easily playable for Michael Harris. He makes a snag well before the warning track, and 405 to deep center field. He was well before the warning track. There's one away. Of the guys that are still out there, if the Braves are going to make any more moves, Brett Anderson would be the one that I would like to see Atlanta make the move for. He may be looking for a longer deal, but he has been a very good pitcher for quite a while. Fastball across the letters for a strike. It's 1-1. Jorge Polanco, left-handed hitter, coming in. Plays infield, but he's DHing today. Here's the slider inside, and it's off the plate, and it's 1-1. Zero zero. If you're just joining us, Braves and Twins both have been swinging early and often. Here's the 1-1 pitch, high and outside the zone. It's 2-1. Brett Anderson, the lefty from Milwaukee, still out there on the market. Last year had a 422 earned run average. Three-one pitch to Polanco as Ynoa steps off the mound, and here he comes, fires, rocks it, and it is a fastball. Couldn't quite catch up to it, fouled back, and it's 3-2. Anderson has been a pretty good pitcher over the years. still out there on the market. He is 34 years old. Here's a fastball swung on, and it is dragged over to the right side. Olson quickly on it, and that'll make a easy out. There's 2 away. Matt Olson, I know a lot of people are worried about Freddie Freeman, not just as bad as his glove. Matt Olson, not just a gold glove, he's a platinum glove 2-time winner. So the Braves have definitely filled that void with a talented young man from the Georgia area. You just hope he can live up to the pressure. It'd be great to see him get off to a good start. Here's first pitch, and it is in the dirt, and it's 1-0. Luis Arias kind of did like a skip towards the pitcher, almost Juan Soto-like. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it's inside. Yep, he's doing it again. Yeah, he's obviously copying Juan Soto, and it's 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch, Arias, and it is a fastball high and outside the zone. Looks like it just being called a strike, and it's 2-1. He started to do his little shimmy. I call it the Soto shimmy. Anyone else that does it is basically just copycatting. But he kind of looked foolish there. He started to do a shimmy, and then he realized that it was a strike. Here's the 2-1 pitch, or excuse me, 3-1 pitch to Arias. Left-hand side of the plate, and it is a fastball, and it is hit just over the head of Ozzie Albies into right field as he beat the shift with a little bit of a top spin. So he'll get on first base with 2 away. Noah got just too much of a plate with the fastball there. There have been rumors that they're expecting Johnny Cueto to sign any hour now. They're expecting him signed today, so we'll see what happens there. If it does happen, we will keep you abreast of that. Here's the first pitch, and it is swung on, raked over to the left side of the infield, easily scooped up by Goins. Goins is going to fire it over to first base, and it's an easy out. That ends the inning. We'll be back in a flash here. The Atlanta Braves and Minnesota Twins scoreless. Harris, Goins, and Arcia coming to the plate.
The Almighty says this must be a fashionable fight. It's drawn the finest people.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Let's keep the Dodgers in Brooklyn. My house is not a home without some.
But you know, I want to say one thing in all seriousness. I feel sorry for you people that don't drink. I mean it, because when you wake up in the morning, that's as good as you're going to feel all day.
Armchair.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
One summer day in 1839 at Cooperstown, New York, on the shores of Lake Otsego, the local academy was playing a game of town ball against Green's select school. The rules of town ball were so loose that every hit was fair, and boys sometimes ran headlong into one another. That day, an academy player named Abner Doubleday sat down and on the spot drew up the rules for a brand new game and called it baseball. Abner Doubleday would eventually become a hero at the Battle of Gettysburg, and his game would become the national pastime, or so the legend has it. Abner Doubleday really was a distinguished soldier, but he was at West Point, not Cooperstown, that summer. Never claimed to have had anything to do with baseball, may never have even seen a professional game.
We are back here in the first pitch to Michael Harris. is inside, called for a strike. It's 0-1. Just saw the comment. Yeah, I would love to see them go for Brian Reynolds as well. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it is just below the knees, called for a ball. It's 1-1. Problem is with Reynolds, they're saying that Pittsburgh is wanting the moon and stars, and Atlanta just gave away 4 really good prospects. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it's a slider outside. It's 2-1 in the Oakland A's trade. So I think Anthopoulos would love to get Reynolds, but what is he willing to give up to get Reynolds? Here's a fastball inside, swung on and drilled over to the right-hand side of the infield. Quickly picked up by Arias and shuffled over to first. It's 1-1. And the Braves do have a deep farm system. But if they're wanting someone like a Michael Harris or whatnot for him, I think that's going to be a non-starter. Here's the first pitch to Ryan Goins, the third baseman, and it is off the plate, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and taking for a strike, it's 1-1. Braves are really high on Michael Harris and a couple of the other guys that they have, and I just don't know if they're willing to give them up. They maybe they part with one of their arms, and maybe that gets the deal done. Here's the 1-1 pitch, almost hits Goins. He twirls back inside and almost got him in there on the hands. Quick reflexes, and it's 2-1. Thankfully, it looked like it was a changeup. 2-1 pitch, and it is swung on and fouled off the mask of Gary Sanchez and rolled back to the backstop. That'll wake you up, and it's now 2-2. Some of the Braves pitchers that pitched so well in the postseason, you got to wonder if maybe strike while the iron's hot and maybe move one of those guys to get a Brian Reynolds. Two pitch and swung on and hit high, but it looks like it's going to be out of play, and it is into the towards the bullpen off the screen, and it's 2-2 again. Atlanta nothing, Minnesota nothing. If you're just joining us, Atlanta's had a couple of opportunities to score. Runner on second with 2 outs an inning ago. In the first inning, they had runners on the corners. Here's a 2-2 pitch, fouled off again. Gary Sanchez's face mask again. Oh no, it was off his hand. And he went down. No, excuse me. Ricochets off his hand into his knee. He's down and in pain. We'll see if he's okay. That would be a terrible blow for Sanchez and the Twins. So he's trying to get a new start over in Minnesota. I'm sure out of everybody this spring, he is most excited about getting a new beginning out of New York. Yankee fans and the media had just absolutely roasted the gentleman over the last couple of seasons, and he wants a new start, and I can't blame him. Big, talented slugger, but has always struggled defensively and will go through huge pockets where as bad as ice cold. But he's got all the tools there. You would expect him to one day be a 30 home run hitter. He's got that kind of pop. Here's the 2-2 pitch and set up outside, swung on and missed, fired fastball right past Goins, and that's 2 away. And that'll bring up Arcia as we flip over the batting order one more time, top of the fifth. It's be Arcia's third at bat. Here's the first pitch, and it is a fastball on the outside part of the plate, called for a strike. It's 0-1. Arcia's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a line out. 0-1 pitch, and off the plate once again, and just kisses the black. It's 0-2. Oh-2 pitch to Arcia, 2 away, and fastball swung on and grounded to the left side of the infield. Corralled by the shortstop. He fires it over to first, and that's an easy 1-2-3 inning. We head to break. Braves nothing, Twins nothing. Minnesota grabs the bats.
Why is there a pancake in the silverware drawer?
I mean, why is there silverware in the pancake drawer?
Enjoy sun-drenched days, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Our hotels, attractions, and restaurants have taken the Visit Lauderdale's Safe and Clean pledge so you can relax and explore with confidence. When you're ready for that well-deserved staycation, our 23 miles of golden beaches await. Find wide open spaces to hike, bike, kayak, and paddleboard. Visit your favorite attractions, then dine out in style in socially distanced dining rooms or al fresco on waterfront patios. Learn more at sunny.org.
Don't miss a moment of heart-stopping NFL coverage on Armchair Quarterback Radio.
Riggins. He's going to go all the way unless Blackwood can catch him, and he can't.
3rd and 3. We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side, possibly.
Montana looking, throwing in the end zone. Caught it! Dwight Clark.
Only 12 seconds left to play third quarter. Here's Marcus Allen cutting back upfield, and Marcus Allen could be gone. 74 yards for Marcus Allen.
The quiet man of this football team, Scott Norwood. He can fire the shot heard round the world now. Here we go with 8 seconds to play. High drama here in the Super Bowl. But in the air, it's got the distance.
It measures just 9 inches in circumference, weighs only about 5 ounces, and is made of cork wound with woolen yarn, covered with 2 layers of cowhide, and stitched by hand precisely 216 times.
Welcome back here to Braves Baseball. As Gary Sanchez stays in the game, he's at the plate, and so is Huascar Ynoa. First pitch off the plate, change up, and it's 1-0. Sanchez struck out his first time up. Ynoa trying to find a way onto this Braves roster and hopefully in the starting rotation. Looking at the rotation right now, here's 1-0 pitch, and it swung on, hit high and deep, traveling back, but it's going to be a can of corn just before the warning track, caught by Harris, and he'll flip it back into the infield. There's 1 away. Your rotation right now, obviously, Max Fried, Morton, and Ian Anderson, you can go ahead and pencil in there. Mike Soroka is the big question mark, whether he'll be ready for opening day or not. Anthopoulos was interviewed recently and said that is the game plan, but we'll see what happens as it progresses towards the spring. And then who gets that 4th start? There's a number of names out there. One of the more interesting one is the 0-1 pitch is about to be delivered. It's a foul ball. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it is swung on and pulled over to the right side. Arcia's got it just right of the bag, of the second base bag. He flips it over to first and easily gets Kepler. There's 2 away quickly. Kyle Wright is one of the more interesting ones because he has struggled so much when he's came up for Atlanta. But no one was bigger in the playoffs than Kyle Wright. when he had to step in and make that spot start, he looked absolutely phenomenal. Can he duplicate that, or will he continue to be Jekyll and Hyde? Here's first pitch from Inoa, swung on and fouled back to the screen to Gio Urshela. It's 0-1. Here's the windup and delivery from Inoa, and off the plate, out of the zone, it's 1-1. Inoa working out of the stretch. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and it is off the plate once again, and it is now, no, they're going to call it a strike. Looked like it was outside the zone. The Blues going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and it's 2-2. 2-2 pitch, and swung on and rolled over to the third baseman, and Goins gets it, grabs it, fires it over to first, and that'll end the inning. So quickly, we're heading to break again. Top of the sixth, no score. Spring training Braves baseball.
God would never let me be successful. He'll kill me first. He'll never let me be happy.
I thought you didn't believe in God.
I do for the bad things.
Armchair Quarterback Radio, your home for the SEC.
Back third down on the 8. In trouble. Got a block behind him. Going to throw and a run. Complete to the 25, to the 30. Lindsey Scott, 35, 41. Lindsey, 25, 20, 50, 10, 5. Lindsey Scott. Lindsey Scott. Lindsey Scott.
Second down from the 3. Comes to blitz. Quick flip. Caught. Did he hold it long enough? The official says yes. Oh, boy, is that going to be controversial. Gaffney, the freshman. My goodness.
If he had it, he didn't have it very long, that's for sure.
And this one's in the history books. And inexplicably, the Florida Gators go 91 yards to come from behind and edge the Tennessee Volunteers in an ending that will be talked about for years.
Armchair.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
1-1 pitch. A long drive to right. Ramirez turns to the track. She's gone. Dave Justice, all is forgiven in Atlanta. Bob, it's okay to talk the talk if you can walk the walk. Baerga is 0 for 3. Left center field. Grissom on the run. The team of the 90s holds its world championship.
Welcome back to Braves baseball. Giovanni Moran is now in, left-hander from Minnesota. Last year only got into 5 games, 7.88 ERA, 290 batting average against. To try to get him some work. Appreciate y'all joining us here for the first telecast or first broadcast of the 2022 season. We were here with you all the way through the World Series last year. Had an incredible time. Can't thank people enough for joining in and having fun. And we hope to bring you the whole season this year. We're going to be here Tuesday and Friday nights. Here's the first pitch, and it is a fastball up in the zone, taken for a strike, and it's 0-1. That's the first pitch that Ozzie Albies has actually taken today, swinging at the first 2 pitches his previous 2 times up. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Ozzie, and slider foul tipped in the dirt. It's 0-2. Ozzie Albies batting second, struggled at the top of the order towards the end of the postseason last year. They dropped him down. Be interesting to see where he's at in the order when the season begins. Here's the first pitch to Ozzie, or the 0-2 pitch to Ozzie, and he fouls it back. And it's going to be 0-2 once again. Acuna is not expected to be in the lineup for the first couple of weeks and then DH for about a month. So they're expecting him to hit the outfield somewhere close to Memorial Day weekend. Here's the 0-2 pitch, swung on and fouled back. Stay 0-2. The target date would be May 21st to play the field, April 21st to DH. One of the reasons why you're going to see Ozuna playing left field quite a bit, because though he's expected to be the DH down the road, he's got to be ready to play defense after the long layoff. And here's the 0-2 pitch, and it is swung on in the dirt. Strike 3. Ozzie chased one, went fishing, and there's one away. If you missed it earlier, Atlanta had 2 arbitration cases that have already hit the news. Minter accepted arbitration. Riley is going to battle it. So we'll see what happens with that. It'll go to arbitration. One thing you hate about the arbitration cases is that one side gets up and argues why I'm good. The other side argues to the side of you're not as good as you think you are. And a lot of times you get bad blood. And that's why you hate to see your star players go to arbitration, because the team's just trying to save money and the player can sometimes wear it on his sleeve. 1-1 count to Matt Olson. Matt Olson digs in. The Freddie Freeman replacement, as he came over in the big trade just a few weeks ago, then quickly signed an 8-year contract extension. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it's inside off the plate. It's 2-1. So he had 2 years left on his deal. He signed a new deal, an 8-year, 168 deal, but there is a 9th year club option. And if he's worth his weight in gold, you expect that option to be picked up, as it's very club friendly. Here's the 2-1 pitch, swung on and missed. It's 2-2. Olson has a much longer swing than Freddie Freeman. Hits for a little more power, but typically does not hit his high of batting average. 271 last year, but a lifetime 252 hitter. Here's a fastball off the plate, called for a ball, and you got a full count to Matt Olson. He drove it over the center field wall first time up today, but Byron Buxton was there to reach back and catch it and steal a home run from the Atlanta native. Here's a 3-2 pitch, and it is in the dirt. Good eye by Olson. He'll head down to first, and Atlanta's got something cooking here. Top of the 6th, 1 on, 1 away in a fast-moving ball game. This game started at 1:05 Eastern time. We're already in the 6th inning. Both teams, as you get this a lot, especially early in spring training, both teams are swinging very early in the count. Marcell Ozuna now comes up. He's 1 for 2, had a single in the first inning. And here's the pitch. High and outside the zone. Fastball, and it's 1-0. Atlanta's 3-1 here in the early spring training. Took their first loss yesterday to the Boston Red Sox. Touki Toussaint. Here's a pitch swung on, and it is dribbled over to second and went to make the double play. Should have been an easy double play, but the ball was bobbled and dropped by the shortstop, Nick Gordon. And he's having some chatter with the second baseman, Arias. I don't know if he's saying that it was a bad flip. Let me take a look here. It flipped it up. Now that's just a bad play by Gordon. It just came out of his glove. And you're going to have runners on first and second, 1 away. It wasn't one of those situations where the ball hit the glove. Now they may be. It's a mound visit. I thought maybe they were going to review it, but I really don't think there's a review needed. The ball came and hit his glove. As soon as it hit his glove, it popped out. Sometimes you'll get the call that the runner was out, but then the ball came out during the transfer, but it just skipped out of his glove. So you got runners on first and second. Let's reset this. Runners on first and second. Ozuna reached because of an error. He's on first. Nagowski is now in at second base running for Matt Olson. And Travis d'Arnaud swings over the top of the first pitch slider, and it is 0-1. John Nagowski played his college ball at Florida State University, trying to make the team. Has had a pretty good spring. It's been impressive. Here's the pitch and swung on, and same pitch slider that Travis d'Arnaud is swinging and missing on. That's going to be an 0-2 count to d'Arnaud. Lefty versus righty matchup, trying to just get a hold of something and put it into the outfield. Nagowski's got pretty decent wheels. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Same pitch, breaking ball that is off the plate, and it's 1-2. Back to Nagowski. Plays first base, can also play a couple of other positions, right-handed to Olson's left-handed. They wouldn't straight platoon him, but he would be a guy that could give some folks some rest. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it's a fastball high and could not catch up to his strike three. It's a 2 away for the Atlanta Braves. Moritz, by the way, is now pinch running for Ozuna, so he's done for the day as well. This is going to bring Alex Dickerson up to the plate. Lefty matchup. Dickerson's 0 for 2 with a pop-out strikeout. Lefty versus lefty. They're going to see what he can do against Moran. Here's the pitch, and it's a fastball across the chest, and it's 0-1. Dickerson would love to get a base hit here, impress Snicker and company, trying to make the squad. First and second, 2 away in a scoreless game, Fort Myers, Florida. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's a changeup on the outside part of the plate, and it's 0-2. Touki Toussaint pitched yesterday, struggled a bit. The Braves lost 5-0. He's another guy that could be up for the rotation, but most likely is going to head down to the minors. Here's the 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed, and it is strike 3. That kills the inning. We'll be back in a flash. Bottom of the 6th. Braves nothing, Twins nothing. Hey, Braves fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel are bringing you Braves baseball all season long. Hi, I'm Matt McGee, and I'll be bringing you Braves baseball play-by-play, calling it how I see it for all of Braves country. So pull up an armchair and join us for Braves country baseball every Friday night, first pitch to last pitch, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. We're 1 out away, Braves country, from a trip to the World Series. Whatever superstition you got, do it. The entire city of Atlanta, the entire South is standing on their feet, trying to will the Braves into the World Series. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And swung on and ripped over to Dansby Swanson. Dansby's got it. He fires on to first. Baby, sound the trumpets. Do the chop through the streets. Your Atlanta Braves are headed to the 2021 World Series. Oh, baby.
Enjoy sun-drenched days, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Our hotels, attractions, and restaurants have taken the Visit Lauderdale's Safe and Clean pledge, so you can relax and explore with confidence. When you're ready for that well-deserved staycation, our 23 miles of golden beaches await. Find wide-open spaces to hike, bike, kayak, and paddleboard. Visit your favorite attractions, then dine out in style in socially distanced dining rooms or al fresco on waterfront patios. Learn more at sunny.org.
The batter has only a few thousandths of a second to decide to hit the ball. And yet the men who fail 7 times out of 10 are considered the game's greatest heroes.
Welcome back here to Braves baseball, and the Atlanta Braves and Minnesota Twins are scoreless, top of the 6th inning. Huascar Ynoa is back out on the mound, 27 pitches into the game, and fastball fired across the chest for a strike. It's 0-1. Alex Kirilloff is 0 for 1 today, lefty versus righty matchup, and it is a fastball in the dirt. Almost hits Alex, and it's 1-1. Minnesota's had a big offseason in their own right. I know I've talked a lot about the Braves, but this is Braves country baseball. If you've been under a rock somewhere, here's the 1-1 pitch, swung on and shot the other way against the shift, and it'll be an easy single. Leadoff single for the Minnesota Twins. Carlos Correa signed a 3-year deal with the Minnesota Twins a few days ago. They'll expect him in camp here, not too far in the distant future. He's got a 3-year deal, but he can opt out at the end of each year. So it's a great deal for them to be able to land Carlos Correa, but it may just be a 1-year rental. Now it's a high AAV at 35 this year. And following that up, here's the first pitch to Nick Gordon. He fouls it off his shin, and he's down, writhing in pain. It's 0-1. He does spring back up, so it looks like he'll be okay. So the question is that a lot of people in Braves country have asked, because there was a report that came out that Carlos Correa's agent made phone calls to teams like the Atlanta Braves. And the question is there interest in him next year? Dansby Swanson is a free agent at the end of the season. Here's the first pitch, or the 0-1 pitch, excuse me, across the eyes and out of the zone. It's 1-1. Nick Gordon flew out in his first plate appearance. So that'll be an interesting thing. There's a lot of big free agents next year. Here's the 1-1 pitch out of the zone, fastball, and it's 2-1. Is having a hard time keeping that ball in the zone, keeping it down. When he has struggled, that's where he has struggled the most. Shoemake, by the way, is in at short for the Atlanta Braves now. And here's grounded over to second, flipped over to short. Shoemake fires it over to first, and they're going to call him safe. Almost a double play, but Gordon can run fast. It was a really close bang-bang play. I have to see the replay to see if he actually beat the throw. It was close, and I mean close. Gordon was a little slow getting out of the box, and it looks like he probably beat him, but I mean, it was by an eyelash. So Gordon's on, 1 away. Nagalski over at first base, trying to hold him on. Here's the first pitch, and it is swung on and missed. Byron Buxton, it's 0-1. Buxton hit by a pitch in the first inning. Braves have pitched really well today. Here's the 0-1 pitch. No, he's going to fire it over to first and almost catch Gordon napping. Nagalski holding him on. Once again, Nagalski trying to make the team, and I think he's got a good chance of making it. Gives the Braves a right-handed bat off the bench that can play first. It's got decent wheels. He can also play a couple of other positions. Here's the changeup, and it swung on, grounded over to third, flipped over to second, fires it over to first, and we got a twin killing. We're out of the inning. So we head to the top of the 7th. Atlanta nothing, Minnesota nothing. We'll be right back with Braves Country Baseball.
You dumped a porn star? Friendship
over. We live in a world now that welcomes and nurtures the screwball in all of us. Hey, it's a new decade, people. Time to get a little nutty. Treat yourself to Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, a smooth flavor that combines two of America's favorites, peanut butter and American whiskey. So no more social awkwardness. Time to embrace who you truly are. Get out there and make friends. And be sure it starts with Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. It's available nearly everywhere. Learn more at screwballwhiskey.com. Infinium Spirits. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hey, baseball fans, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel is going to bring you the baseball game of the week on Thursday nights. Tones Areola and Mac McGee bringing you the action, the biggest game of the week in all of Major League Baseball. That's Thursday nights. This baseball season, the MLB game of the week, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel.
1786. A fine day. Play ball in the campus, but am beaten, for I miss catching and striking the ball. Princeton College.
Children have hit balls with bats as long as there have been children. But baseball's most direct ancestors were two British games. Rounders, a children's sport brought to New England by the earliest colonists, and cricket, a stately pastime divided into innings and supervised by umpires. By the time of the American Revolution, there were many variations. Boys played one version or another in schoolyards and village greens and on college campuses.
Welcome back here to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta and Minnesota are tied 0-0. Getting to see Ron Washington on over there off of third base. Good to see him back. There was talks of him possibly getting a managerial position elsewhere. First pitch is off the plate, and it's 1-0. Atlanta. William Contreras is at the plate facing Cole Sands now. Cole Sands comes in, righty versus righty matchup. Fastball fouled back. Sands, 6'3", 250-pound, 24-year-old from Tallahassee, Florida. Big country kid, and he rocks and fires, and it is a changeup off the plate. It's 2-1. With the designated hitter rule, there is room for guys like Contreras, but I would believe that they're going to send him back down. Here's a changeup across the chest. He takes it for a strike. It's 2-2. You would expect Contreras to go back down to the minors. Here's the 2-2 pitch, swung on and fouled. It'll be 2-2 once again. To work on his defense. He's come up and he has hit well from time to time, but his defense has struggled. They would like to put him behind the plate at some point, but they did lock in Darnold for the next 2 seasons. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and it's a fastball. Caught looking, watching the paint dry. That's strike 3. Contreras will go grab some pine. Nice pitch off the plate by Sands. I mean, that was a dart, and I think it caught Contreras by surprise after a couple of changeup pitches. So this will bring Michael Harris back up to the plate, 375 on the young spring training, excuse me. Here's the first pitch, and he swung on out of his shoes. The bottom dropped out of it. It's 0-1. Good crowd out there, Fort Myers, Florida. Good to see fans back in big numbers. 0-1 pitch, and it is off the plate. It's 0-2. Cities like Fort Myers we're glad to hear of the lockout talk ending so they can get back to business. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and a fastball off the plate, high and outside, and it's 2-1. That was almost pitch out distance. On deck is Goins and Shoemaker's in the hole. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and it is outside the zone. Good eye by Michael Harris, and it's now 3-1. Harris is 20 years old, 3-1 pitch, and it is a fastball at the knees, called for a strike. It's 3-2. Might have been the sinker. Didn't sink much, though. Here's a 3-2 pitch, and it is way outside the zone. Good eye by Harris. He gets on, one out. He'll jog down to first base, and that's going to bring Ryan Gomes to the plate. Goins was also trying to make this roster. Braves have already cut the roster down quite a bit and sent many of the players to various affiliates. I think I saw it was down to 54 players yesterday morning. Here's the first pitch to Goins. It's taken for a ball. Looked like the changeup. It's 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And it is just drops inside out of the zone, and it's 2-0. Good eye by Goins. Had to been tempting to take a swing at that one. Goins is 0 for 2. 1 on. Harris leading off of first. And 2-0 pitch. It's a fastball. Harris is going. He's going, and he is safe at second base. Throw was a little bit up the bag. They tried to tag Harris on the foot, but he was already on second. And he was shot out of a cannon. Didn't even look like he had much of a lead. Kind of put him to sleep. They might have tagged him on the foot. We'll have to take a look here. That was a good tag if they did get him. The question is going to be, did he tag him, and was his hand already on the bag? I think he just missed him. Just missed the foot. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and it is a curveball. Low and taken for a ball. It's 3-1. Braves got something cooking here in the top of the 7th inning. Atlanta nothing, Minnesota nothing. Cole Sands came in, about to deliver the 17th pitch of the inning. And here's the 3-1 pitch, high and off the plate. It's going to be ball 4, and we got runners on first. We've got runners on second with 1 away. Brandon Shoemake, who could be the heir apparent to Dansby Swanson if they do not re-sign him at the end of the year. He's coming to the plate. A lot of folks are really high on Shoemake. Left-handed, looks a lot like Dansby Swanson, has the long shaggy hair and everything. But he's a left-handed version. Here comes first pitch to Shoemake, and he takes changeup inside. It's 1-0. Swanson, Duvall, Riley, Freed, Luke Jackson have all gone to arbitration. Minter, Matzik, and Newcomb settled. So here comes the 0-1 pitch, and it is a fastball in the dirt. It's 1-1. They try to fire it back under to second base to try to catch Harris napping off the bag. He's back in there easily. Probably should have slid. That tag was closer than it should have been, but nonetheless, he's back in safe. Shoemake on the 1-1 pitch takes changeup low and outside the zone. It's 2-1. Looks like Gary Sanchez came out of the game, and Benuelos is now behind the plate. He's the one that made the throw down there to second. Here's the 2-1 pitch, swung on and fouled back out of the zone. And it's 2-2. So you got runners on first and second, 1 away, a 2-2 count. Atlanta trying to find any way to get in scoring position. to score. They're already in scoring position. 2-2 pitch, and it's swung on and dribbled over to the right-hand side scooped up by the second baseman. He tries to tag the runner heading to second, but misses him, fires it over to first. Shoemaker will be out, but the Braves will have runners on second and third and 2 away, so a single could plate 2. Good bit of running there as just avoided the tag. Goins didn't have to really do much to get away from the second baseman that was trying to apply the tag was a little up the line, didn't really have a good chance to tag him. So runners on second and third, 2 away. Here's the changeup pitch, and that's to Jordan Cowan, who comes in. He'll take the first pitch for a strike. It's 0-1. Cowan coming in, second baseman, replacing Ozzie Albies, and here's another curveball off the plate. It's now 1-1. So Albies is done for the day. Arcia is done for the day. Olson, Ozuna, Darnode, Dickerson. They're all getting themselves some Gatorade and putting their shoes up and seeing what the young guys can do. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it is scalded into right field. I mean, absolutely scuba-dooped for a single, a 2-run single. He's going to try to stretch it into 2, and under the tag is Gowan. What a great slide by Gowan. Great hustle out of the box, and the Braves lead it 2-0. Off-speed pitch that hung a little bit. Sands, the moment it got hit, he kind of slumped down, realizing he made a big mistake. They were playing extremely deep in the outfield. And I mean extremely deep. You'd think Barry Bonds was up there at the plate. So that allowed Gowan to be able to book it around first base and stretch that into 2, which should have been a single. At normal depth, it's probably an out. But nonetheless, we'll take it. 2-0 Atlanta. Runner on second base, fastball inside to John Nogowski, and it's 1-0. Nice piece of hitting by Jordan Cowan. As he comes in for Ozzie Albies and immediately reaps the rewards. Atlanta 2, Minnesota 0. And fastball swung on, fouled back by Nogowski, just missed a piece of that, and it's 2-1. Fast pace here today by all the pitchers. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Sands. Nogowski digs in, and it is a changeup right down the pipe, taken for a strike. It's 2-2. Cowan trying to pull up his stats. Doesn't have many. 36 at bats in his major league career. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and it is nice eye by Nogowski. That changeup fell out of the zone, and it's 3-2. Nogowski was drafted by the Mariners in 2013. It's from Kent Lake, Washington. He's had 36 at bats, so not a big sample size. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and it is swung on and got a piece of it, but the catcher held on for strike 3. Nogowski goes out on strikes, but not before Atlanta gets a 2-run lead. It's 2-0 Braves. We'll be back in a flash.
If dating is the game, then marriage is winning the game.
Yeah, if you're playing in the women's league.
Hey, fantastic. Every single one of you. I mean, I'm not just talking about
these last 60 minutes. I'm talking about the quarterback schools, the mini camp, the off season, the training camp, down in Austin when it was hot and you were tired, the home bit. Everybody, you did one hell of a job. And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
Armchair.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Welcome to the jungle. Jim Rome on the air, noon to 3 Eastern, only on CBS Sports Radio.
Hello?
Hi, is Mark there?
Yeah?
It's me, Shannon. We met at Jack's party.
Yeah, how can I forget? Wow, how you doing? I haven't heard from you in,
9 months.
Armchair.
First thing about it, and this seems so obvious that maybe we overlook it. Baseball is a beautiful thing. It's more beautiful in an old park that's asymmetrical and quirky, but even in a dome with artificial turf, it's beautiful. The way the field fans out, the choreography of the sport, the pace and rhythm of it, the fact that that pace and rhythm allows for conversation and reflection and opinion and comparison.
Welcome back here to Braves Country Baseball. Spencer Strider, big right-hander, coming in 6 foot, 195 pounds from Columbus, Ohio. He's going to try to hold on to this Braves lead. We're in the bottom of the 7th. It's 2-0 Atlanta after a 2-run double by Jordan Cowan, who was coming in for Ozzie Albies. And Atlanta's got the 2-0 lead. Here's the first pitch, and it is swung on and missed in on the hands to Polanco. It's 0-1. Mentioned it before, really nice crowd looking around the major leagues. I flipped over during the break to check out the New York-Toronto game. They've got a good crowd as well. Toronto, by the way, leads that game 5-1. We'll get you caught up on the scoreboard here in a second. Atlanta. Yeah, I hated to see Soler leave too. That was the one move in the offseason I was really disappointed. I thought for sure we were going to get him. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and that's a wide strike zone. We'll take it. They're going to call that a punchy, take it for a strike. Polanco caught looking. He's kind of rolling his eyes going, all right, man, it's a spring. I get it. And it's one away. That was regular season. You'd see an argument. If that was a postseason strike, you would see an uproar. But it's spring training, and the one thing Blue will tell you, swing early and swing often. We're not trying to sit out here all day. Here's the first pitch inside, almost in on the hands, 1-0. Strider popping the glove there in the low 90s and trying to battle Daniel Robertson. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, and it is a 99-mile-an-hour fastball fouled back. Strider bringing some gas now. Gotten warmed up a little bit. He's really bringing the heat, and it's 1-1. Strider, 1-1 pitch, fastball high and outside. 100. He hit triple digits. 2-1 count. Heard about this Spencer Strider. First time I've been able to see him pitch. He's got absolute gas out there. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and it's a fastball, and it's shot over to the right-hand side past the shift and a single into center field. It'll get corralled quickly by Harris, and there's one on and one out. And that'll bring Curtis Terry to the plate. Michael Harris has actually been lifted for Dean. So Dean was the one that actually made the play. Good defensive play, jumped on it quickly and got it back into the infield. On an honest defense, that's an easy ground out, but Braves had him played to shift. Here's a pitch, and it's a changeup off the plate, swung on and missed. It's 0-1. You often wonder why you're playing a right-handed pull shift against a right-handed batter when the guy's throwing 100 miles an hour. He shot it the other way, as you would expect him to. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it is a fastball hit high and out of play. It's 0-2. Strider is just absolutely bringing gas. His fastball is going up around close to triple digits. The sinker's at like 97. So I don't know how much of a sinking move, but here we go. 0-2 pitch from Strider, and there's a slider in the dirt. Wow, did he pull the string on that? Strike 3 is the call. He swung and missed. Was not able to get a piece of that. Curtis Terry down on 3 strikes, 3 pitches. Spencer Strider looking good so far. That's going to bring David Benuelos to the plate. He's the catcher for the Twins. Came in for Gary Sanchez. Takes the first pitch off the plate. Fastball. And outside the zone, it's 1-0. 2 out, 1 on, runner on first, Robertson. Braves lead it by 2, bottom of the 7th inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it's swung on and missed. 1-1 count. We will be here every Tuesday and Friday night this baseball season. We will be here this Friday afternoon, 1 o'clock Eastern, first pitch against the Boston Red Sox. Here's a fastball hit high and into center field. It's actually going to drop as they were playing deep, and it's going to drop in for a single. Robertson's going to make it all the way over to third. So the Twins will get an excuse me single and have runners on first and third, 2 away. That'll bring Brent Rooker to the plate. Bad luck by Strider. And Wells couldn't quite catch it up, but he fought it off enough, had enough strength to get it into the outfield, and it dropped quickly as they were playing very deep. Runners on the corners, 2 away. Fastball swung on and fouled back. It's 0-1. Atlanta's got a 2-0 lead. We're here in the 7th inning. Strider steps off the mound for a second to check the sign. Now he's back in there. Here's the windup and the pitch. He fires it in on the hands. It's popped up high, a can of corn into right field, and almost a collision, but it is caught by the right fielder. I mean, he almost collided with second base, but the Braves will get out of it, and we'll head to the top of the 8th inning. Braves 2, Minnesota nothing. You're listening to Braves Country Baseball.
Now, if you want to crown them, but they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
ACC football covered like no other here on the Armchair Quarterback.
Against the blitz, touchdown, Florida State. Brock Holt scores the touchdown, and now it's Bowden's decision, and he sends Mowry onto the field right away. Danny Cannell is the holder. Mowry. This game is over. A 31-31 tie. A 31-31 tie. A deep throw by Lawrence, a lot of contact. Justin Ross broke free from it. He's down in the end zone. Touchdown, Clemson. Justin Ross, a freshman wide receiver, big, rangy.
If you're a fan of the ACC, pull up an armchair. You're home.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Zit shot. It travels 60 feet 6 inches from the pitcher's mound to home, and it can cover that distance at nearly 100 miles an hour. Along the way, it can be made to twist, spin, curve, wobble, rise, or fall away.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The Atlanta Braves are leading 2-0 as we head to the 8th inning. And the Braves right now, a 2-0 lead, and have actually pitched really well. Been impressed by all the pitchers. Digging into the plate right now is, it's like it's Austin Schuffer. Would have to get confirmation on that. And it's actually Andrew Moritz, and he takes second pitch, swinging on the fastball, 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, and inside it's 2-1. They called that a curveball. It was not a curveball. That was straight gas across the corner. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And it is swung on and hit to the right-hand side of the infield into the shift. He flips it over to first, and there's quickly one away. One thing you notice when you see these young pitchers come up, unlike the veterans, because of how they've came up in the minors with these pitch clocks, they are working extremely fast. Atlanta 2, Minnesota nothing. It's going to bring Chadwick Tromp. Don't try to keep up with the scorecard today. Chadwick Tromp's going to come to the plate. And Tromp swings and fouls back the first pitch. It's 0-1. Tromp, the catcher, I'm assuming Chadwick is in for Darno. Yeah, he is in for Darno. And takes the second pitch inside. It's 1-1. Braves 2, Minnesota nothing, top of the 8th. Here's a fastball up around the letter, swung on and missed, and it's 2-1. 94 miles an hour, letter high, couldn't catch up with it. We'll be back here Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern, Braves versus Red Sox. Here's the 1-2 pitch and swung on and hit to the right field. It looks like it's going to drop, and it is. And Trump is running. He's rounding second base. Will they get him? No, he beats the tag, and the catcher's got himself a 1-out double. Nice bit of hustle by Chadwick as he was coming out of the box flying. The relay in from right field was a little offline, so he was able to beat the throw. So Chadwick on second base with one away. And that's going to bring the right fielder Jacob Pearson in, who replaced Dickerson the last defensive inning. Left-hander Jacob Pearson. First pitch is swung on and popped up out of play into the left field stands. It's 0-1. Over there by the Salty Crab Bar. Have not been to the Minnesota Stadium before. Really nice layout. Here's the 0-1 pitch off the plate, and it's going to be a ball. It's 1-1. Looked like it was the curveball, and it was way outside the zone. So Schulfer versus Pearson here, righty versus lefty, and here's a changeup in the dirt, well off the plate, and that's 2-1. Braves 2, Minnesota nothing. We are just 2.5 weeks away from opening day, 7:20 Eastern time. First pitch, Braves versus Reds. We will have it here, and that is a changeup way outside the zone. It's now 3-1. Braves country baseball every Tuesday and Friday night this year. We'll follow them also through the playoffs. Thursday is the MLB game of the week, where I'll be joined by Tones Ariola and Steven Troche from times. And there's a pitch inside and off the plate, and we've got a 3-1 walk. So you got runners on first and second, one away. But the first game of the year, opening day, happens to be a Braves game. Most Thursdays, it'll be just whatever the big game is of that time. The Braves don't play a lot of Thursday games, but they are playing opening day, so we will have the call. Here's the pitch off the plate and outside, and it's ball one. One programming note, April 8th, Friday, April 8th, we will not have a broadcast. I am actually going to the game with my wife. It's a anniversary. Anyways, long story short, won't have the broadcast, but we'll be back the following week. Here's a 1-0 pitch, and it's swung on and roasted in right field. Chadwick's going to come around to score, and the Braves lead at 3-0. We've got runners on first and third, one away. Nice bit of hitting there, as that ball was absolutely scalded by Stephen Pallone. He was in for Wilson Contreras in the DH spot. They were playing a little bit closer to the bag of the shift, trying to set up the double play, and he was able to roast it into right field. So now you got runners on the corners, one away, 3-0 pit, 3-0 game, excuse me. And that's going to bring Justin Dean to the plate. Justin Dean swings high and deep into right field. It's going to be caught, but that's going to be enough to plate the runner. Nice bit of sac fly hitting there by Dean. Justin Dean makes it 4-0 Atlanta. Runner on first will stay put as they hit the relay coming in. It's a lot happening there. Even more difficult to keep up with this because they do not have their the names of their jerseys on the back for the Justin Deans and whatnot of the world. Some of these younger guys just have the digit on their back, so you got to look it up. Here's the first pitch to CJ Alexander off the plate. 1-0 is the count. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it is swung on. Back comes flying out of his hands towards the crowd. Alexander loses the bat. It's 1-1. Braves 4-0. They've scored 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th. Took a while to get the runs going today, but when we finally got that door kicked open, Braves lead at 4-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch, swung on and fouled Blue calling for time. Ball might have nicked him a little bit. He throws the ball back over the pitcher, and it's 1-1. Alexander at the plate now, the lefty. Lefty versus righty matchup here. 1-2 count, runner on first, 2 away, and it's a curveball outside. It's 2-2. Braves 4, Twins nothing. Our first broadcast since the Game 6 of the World Series. Glad to have you back. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and it is inside for a ball. It's now going to be a full count, 3-2, which means the runner on first will be going. Three-two count. Here the runner goes, and it swung on, hit high and deep into left center field. Left fielder's underneath it. It's playable, and that'll end the inning. But not before Atlanta plates 2 more. It's Atlanta 4, Minnesota nothing. The Twins will grab the bats in the bottom of the 8th.
You're very lucky that you're with somebody who's resilient.
You tried to off yourself 2 times in the last 24 hours, Frank.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
A single scores at least 1, probably 2 with Adrianza's speed. Braves fans are on their feet hoping for some kind of a bleeder or a seeing eye single, trying to find any way to get a runner home. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Buehler's got to be coming to the end of his string. For him to piece together this many pitches on 3 days rest, he's really done an incredible job. Braves 1, Dodgers 1, bottom of the 4th. Justin Buehler looks like he is ready. I don't think Buehler in any way, shape, or form is going to face Freddie Freeman. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it is swung on and hit high and deep down the right field line. Is it fair? Is it? It is gone, baby! Ram-a-lam-a ding-dong, zip, boom, bam, a 3-run shot by Eddie Rosario. Eddie Rosario makes it 4-1. Atlanta in the bottom of the 4th.
It is a haunted game in which every player is measured against the ghosts of all who have gone before. Most of all, it is about time and timelessness, speed and grace, failure and loss, imperishable hope and coming home.
Robinson with a good lead. There he goes. He hits the dirt and he's safe.
Welcome back to Braves baseball, as Strider is back out there, Spencer Strider, and he'll be facing Tim Beckham. Here's the windup and the pitch, and it is a slider called across the letters for a strike. It's 0-1. Tim Beckham swung on and just got a piece of that. Ball rolls to the backstop. Might have missed it altogether. It's 0-2. The Twins, Beckham is in at third base for Urshela. Here's the 0-2 pitch, swung on and at the fist, and it is fouled back, and it's 0-2. Spencer Strider bringing the heat. Fastball's up around 100. The slider about 85. Here's the slider off the outside part of the plate, swung on, fouled back to the backstop, and it's 0-2. Four nothing your score. Atlanta scored 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th. Here's a fastball on the outside part of the plate, and it's taken for a ball. It's 1-2. 100 miles an hour. Got to figure Spencer Strider's got a chance of making this club. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it is just off the plate. Fastball, 100 miles an hour again, and it's 2-2. Here's a 2-2 pitch, swung on and hit over to the right-hand side. It's an atom ball right at him. Cowan's able to snare the ball before it got into the outfield, and there's one away in the bottom of the 8th. Nice defensive play by Cowan, who came in for a replacement for Ozzie Albies in the last offensive inning, where he hit a 2-run double to extend the lead. Here's the first pitch, swung on and roasted into right center field for a base hit. So the Twins have one on, one out. And they will send to the plate. Looks like Larnach, the left fielder, is coming up. Here's a fastball swung on and missed. And 0-1 is your count. Turns into quite a mess during spring training games to try to keep up with who's in and who's out. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's a fastball roasted to the right-hand side, out of play, over towards the dugout, and in the air. Looks like it made it into the stands, and it's 0-2. Braves 4, Minnesota nothing. 0-2 pitch, and it swung on and dribbled to the left-hand side, and shortstop corrals it after juggling the ball, flips it over to Cohen, and Cohen is going to make the play. So there's 2 away, but the runner does make it to first. They get the force. A little bit of a juggling job there at second base by Shoemake. And Atlanta, 1 out away from getting out of this. Here's the first pitch, and it is a fastball on the inside part of the plate. It's 0-1. Strider fires and delivers, and right up the middle, and it is almost backhanded by Cowan, but he couldn't quite get it, went under the wicket. So you got runners on first and second. Celestino was the batter, and he is standing on first. You got runners on first and second, just underneath the glove of Cowan. He was stretched out trying to make the play. I don't know if he could have gotten anybody because his momentum was carrying him towards the third base side. Would have been a very difficult play. Shortstop was out of position to be able to make any kind of a forced play at second. So regardless, you got runners on first and second. Two away. And here's the pitch. And a fastball high and outside the zone. It's 1-0. Atlanta 4, Minnesota nothing, but the Twins are threatening. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it swung on and missed. Strike. 1-1 is the count. Fastball right down the wicket. Mark Contreras is the batter for Minnesota. as he has come in to take over the DH role of Polanco. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And fastball taken high for a strike. It's 1-2. Contreras did not like that one bit. Strider 1 strike away from getting out of this mess. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And it is a fastball high and inside. It's 2-2. Contreras had to bend out of the way there. Wasn't really close to hitting him, but definitely got his attention. So you got a 2 on, 2 out. Top of the 8th, deuces wild. Here's the windup in the pitch, and fastball right across the letters, gassed him. Could not catch up with it. That's strike 3. We head to the top of the 9th. Atlanta 4, Minnesota nothing.
Bo Body. What does the first B stand for?
What are we doing?
We're making acronyms. Okay, what does the first B stand for?
Business.
I like it.
We need a new manager.
Here are some baseball facts you might not have known. Part 18. Kirk Gibson walking off Game 1 of the 1988 World Series is one of the most iconic home runs of all time. Despite how famous the play is, nobody knows where the home run ball itself is located. The bat, helmet, and jersey from that moment are all accounted for, but the ball has seemingly disappeared. Camden Yards is where the Baltimore Orioles play their home games. The ballpark was actually built very close to where Babe Ruth was born. In fact, Ruth's father allegedly owned a pub exactly where center field is today. Kevin Youkilis is known for having a very interesting batting stance. He's also known for working a lot of walks and having a great mindset at the plate. Over his 10-year career, he had 297 plate appearances that went to a 3-0 count, and every single time he didn't swing the bat.
Armchair.
New York Giants second baseman John Montgomery Ward was a rarity among players, a graduate of the Columbia Law School. And in an age when workers everywhere were struggling to win their rights, he was willing to take on the club owners on their own terms. Ward publicly denounced the reserve clause, which now kept every player from deciding for himself where he wished to play and forced him to accept whatever wage his owner was willing to pay.
There is now no escape for the player. If he attempts to elude the operation of the rule, he becomes at once a professional outlaw, and the hand of every club is against him. Like a fugitive slave law, the reserve clause denies him a harbor or a livelihood and carries him back bound and shackled to the club from which he attempted to escape. We have, then, the curious result of a contract which on its face is for 7 months, being binding for life. John Montgomery Ward.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The Atlanta Braves lead it 4-0, scoring 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th. Brandon Shoemake is up to the plate, and he leads it off. First pitch is fastball swung on and hit high into left field. It's playable. It is caught on the run into foul territory. Nice play by Arnott, the left fielder, number 13. And there's one away. We will be back Friday, Tuesday and Friday night telecasts, all Major League Baseball season long here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel. Here's the first pitch. Gallen, it's taken for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and swung on and hit high into left field, going back against the wall. He'll make the catch. Deep left field. Left fielder slams his back up against the left field gate onto the warning track, and that's out number 2. That ball's starting to carry. Gave it a ride. Cowan almost had a second hit. Remember, he had a bases clearing double, 2 RBI double. And this will bring up John Nagowski. First plate appearance was a strikeout. He pitch ran for Matt Olson. Here's the changeup off the plate, and it's 1-0. Rodriguez in for the Twins. Right-hander. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on by Nagowski, and it is a can of corn into shallow left field underneath and playable, and it is caught. That's out number 3. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Your Atlanta Braves, 3 outs away from a W. We'll be right back. Catch the Armchair Quarterbacks pregame show all summer long. Armchair Quarterbacks are doing play-by-play right here on YouTube, Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, and Friday nights. So we're jumping on early with the Armchair Quarterback Show, getting you caught up in the world of sports and ready for the first pitch. It's the Armchair Quarterbacks pregame show all summer long, right here, the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel and your CBS Sports affiliate.
Lager, the beer that brought the forest down.
I drive an exotic imported sports car. I eat exotic foreign food like frankfurters and pizza. But when it comes to numbing my mind, I'm a patriot. I drink the beer that brought the forest down. I'm a lager man. And with the new 80-bottle trunk pack, you've got enough for the evening. Hey, it's happy hour somewhere.
Lager brings out the patriot in you.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up,
Good night.
there's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus, save up with the Fuel Rewards program, and snack up to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell.
Every little town out there on the prairie had its own ball team and ball grounds, and we challenged them all. It wasn't easy to win those games. Each of those towns had its own umpire, so you really had to go some to win. We were gone 3 or 4 weeks. We'd take up a collection at the games, pass the hat, and that paid our expenses, or some of them anyway. One of the boys was the cook, but all he could cook was round steak. We'd drive along the country roads, and if we came to a stream, we'd go swimming. Came to an apple orchard, we'd fill up on apples. If we were near some fairgrounds, we'd slip in there. If we were near a barn, well, Sam Crawford, Wahoo, Nebraska.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Your Atlanta Braves lead at 4-0 over the Minnesota Twins. Twins had a big offseason, including signing Carlos Correa. He is not in camp yet. He should be, I would think that he'll make it into a Twins game sometime this weekend. Michael Tonkin is going to take the hill for the Atlanta Braves. Right-hander, trying to close this out, 3 outs away. Braves are 3-1 on the early spring training schedule. They'll start the season off at home because of the changed schedule, because of the lockout. So they'll open up home like I think they should have to begin with, considering the World Series defending champions, against the Cincinnati Reds Thursday night, 7:20 Eastern time. We'll have the call. April 7th. Looking forward to it. 1-0 pitches just at the knees and called for a strike. It's 1-1. Daniel Robertson at the plate, singled his first time up. Braves Red Sox, 1:00 Eastern Friday afternoon. We'll have the call. I'll also have the updated spring training schedule for next week. The Braves are off on Tuesday, so we'll probably do one early in the week. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and it is swung on and fouled back. It's 2-2. With these day games, I always have to check what my work schedule will be like. But I believe here's the 2-2 pitch swung on and fouled back again. It'll be 2-2 once again. Tonkin wearing number 95. You know, that's never a good sign when you're trying to make the club. Right-hander. Most likely start the season down in the minors if they want to get him some work. Here's a fastball high and outside the zone. It's 3-2. We'll have the Friday game at 1:00, and I believe most likely Monday game. But I just have to double check that. I'll know it by Friday. Here's the 3-2 pitch, swung on and fouled back. And here we go again. It's 3-2. Tomorrow, the Braves play Tampa. And Thursday, Toronto. Does not appear that here's a 3-2 pitch inside and off the plate and a walk. So runner on first, nobody out. Braves do lead by 4. You want to stop this before it gets worse. Here's the first pitch. It's a changeup inside and way off the plate. Terry just kind of spit on that, and it's 1-0. Thank you for the kind words. We'll be here all season long, God willing. And by the way, let's go ahead and hit the scoreboard while we're at it. Baltimore 7-6 over Pittsburgh right now. Boston 3-0 over Tampa. Philly 7-1 over Detroit. St. Louis 4-2 over Miami in the 8th. The Blue Jays are all over the Yankees 9-2 in the 7th. And all the other games are later on today. Freddie Freeman to make his debut in the Dodger uniform. If you can stomach that later on this afternoon, it's going to be on I believe MLB Network. I don't know if I can look at that. So I'm going to have to pass. 2-1 count, swung on and fastball across the letters, swung on and missed. And it is 2-2. Curtis Terry swung on, fastball, and kind of a half check swing high in the zone. Could not make contact, kind of snuck up on him, and he's down with the strikeout. Michael Tonkin with his first strikeout. Someone mentioned it earlier. The Jorge Soler signing with Miami, that was the most disappointing one. I thought Atlanta would sign him back. There is a caveat to his contract, as the first pitch is low for 1-0. He signed a 3-year, $36 million deal with the Marlins, but he has opt-outs over the next 2 years. It's pretty affordable. And if the Marlins are out of the race, like you kind of expect them to be at the trading deadline, Soler might be someone that they move. Because just like the Correa deal, opt-outs after the first 2 years, if he's having a good year, Soler is going to want to opt out. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it's inside for 2-1. So he could be in Atlanta by the trading deadline if everything works out. I think most fans wanted to see him back. World Series MVP. And I think he's going to want to try to test the market if he has a good year, because with the full off season and not that 99-day lockout, some of your free agents are going to be able to test the market and not get pressed for time. 3-1 count. fastball delivery fouled back. Then you got a full count, 3-2, runner on first. Braves lead it 4-0. We did bring back the NLCS MVP and Eddie Rosario. Glad to see that happen. Here's a 3-2 pitch, and it's a fastball caught looking. He got caught watching the paint dry, and Ben Wellis is going to head back to the dugout. Not much of an argument. He kind of realized, I just got caught. He tried to walk down towards first like it was a ball, but he stopped in his tracks. He's like, it was worth a shot. So that'll be strikeout out number 2. And for the last chance for the Twins, 1 on, 2 outs. And there's a very generous strike zone as you get late in these spring training games. First pitch is low and inside, but it's called for a strike to Brent Rooker. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's a fastball swung on and missed right down Main Street. And that's quickly 0-2, down to their last strike, 94 miles an hour. Here comes the pitch from Tonkin. Tonkin swings. It swung on, and it's dribbled back up the middle, flipped over to the shortstop, Shoemake. He makes the grab, steps on the pillow, and that ends the game. Your Atlanta Braves, 4. Minnesota Twins, nothing. Great game by the Braves as they win their 4th game of the preseason, of the spring training, excuse me. Player of the game for the Atlanta Braves. I mean, it's got to be the second baseman, Cowan, with his big RBI double, 2 RBI double. And the Atlanta Braves having a good spring. We hope that they add another stick or two. Maybe they'll add them by the time I see you on Friday. Friday, first pitch, 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll probably come on a little early with a pregame show. So expect us on by 12:30 Eastern, somewhere in that area. And for all the guys and gals behind Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube, I'm Mac McGee. You have a great rest of your afternoon. Braves win it 4-0. It's the Armchair Quarterbacks pregame show all summer long. Armchair Quarterbacks are doing play-by-play right here on YouTube Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, and Friday nights. And we're jumping on early with the Armchair Quarterback show, getting you caught up in the world of sports and ready for the first pitch. It's the Armchair Quarterbacks pregame show all summer long right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube channel and your CBS Sports affiliate.
Lager, the beer that brought the forest down. I drive an exotic imported sports car. I eat exotic foreign food like frankfurters and pizza. But when it comes to numbing my mind, I'm a patriot. I drink the beer that brought the forest down. I'm a lager man. And with the new 80-bottle Trump pack, you've got enough for the evening. Hey, it's happy hour somewhere.
Lager brings out the patriot in you.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up,
Good night.
there's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V Power Nitro Plus, save up with the Fuel Rewards program, and snack up to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell.
Every little town out there on the prairie had its own ball team and ball grounds, and we challenged them all. It wasn't easy to win those games. Each of those towns had its own umpire, so you really had to go some to win. We were gone 3 or 4 weeks. We'd take up a collection at the games, pass the hat, and that paid our expenses, or some of them anyway. One of the boys was the cook, but all he could cook was round steak. We'd drive along the country roads, and if we came to a stream, we'd go swimming. Came to an apple orchard, we'd fill up on apples. If we were near some fairgrounds, we'd slip in there. If we were near a barn, well, Sam Crawford, Wahoo, Nebraska.
to the bone.